Welcome to the Motorcycle Mavericks Podcast, here in the Law Tiger studio, where we get raw
and real with our good friends within the motorcycle community. Hey there, before we get into this podcast, I want to tell you that this podcast is brought to you by the Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers. Hey, if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident and need legal representation, the Law Tigers has got your back. We're the Law Tigers, and we are riders just like you. So, if you ever need us, call us at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Welcome back to the Motorcycle Mavericks Podcast. We've had a busy summer.
Indeed.
A lot of riding, a lot of rallies. We've had ourselves a good time. You've added some new toys.
What the hell are you talking about? I don't understand. What do you mean by a toy?
This gargantuan weapon pointing right at my dome. I don't know why I got hit in the hot seat here.
That's not a toy. That's a Gatling gun, 9mm, baby.
I call that a toy. That's a fun toy.
Indeed. I want to give a shout out, by the way, to Tammy at Sturgis Guns for hooking me up with that and a 2011. Thank you, Tammy.
So it's been a good year.
Great
We're having
year.
a good time here, Motorcycle Mavericks. We're continuing on. We've always kind of started getting kind of those core dudes, those core people out of Arizona, because that's where we're based here at the studio.
Yes.
And we've got another great, I'm going to call it heavy hitter.
Yeah.
I talked to this gentleman before we got started about a bike that he built years ago that inspired me to try to make my own style of a bike.
Nice.
And I didn't realize how involved this guy is in everything. And he's on a tight deadline. We'll let him talk about that. But without further ado, we've got Justin Coleman with Torch Industries and FXR division now, which Correct. I didn't realize
Me either.
you were involved in that side of it.
Yeah, I like to stay in the shadows. Let Chris be Chris is the one that everybody's talked to on the phone and deals with primarily. So
yeah, well, that works. You each have your own role, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It works out great. It's been a little over 15 years now, so we've got a pretty good flow that we figured out.
Man, you're like a silent partner. 15 years, I had no clue.
Well, it's funny because I've lived here for 52 years. I've been in the industry 25, and still I meet people like you that, we know the same people, right?
Yeah, all the same people, for sure.
But never had the opportunity to hang out, get to know you, so I'm so happy we're finally do it.
Yeah, that is one of the nice things about Phoenix is it is, it's kind of the mecca of the motorcycle industry, really. I mean, if you talk about a condensed area of everything that's going on, we talk about Southern California and all the style and all the influence and everything that came out of there. But if you're talking just pure volume of shops and individuals that are into this stuff, Phoenix is where it's at.
Why do you think that is, by the way? Because there's so many builders and designers and manufacturers,
and there has been for decades,
right?
Through multiple iterations of whatever the cool thing is.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I think I've thought about this before and probably had this conversation and never really come to any sort of conclusion.
Sure.
Other than 3 months out of the year, it's a beautiful place to be. But I've been in the desert most of my life, so I'm pretty much just a desert kid, so it doesn't really bother me anymore. Yeah,
it was also relatively affordable. It was relatively affordable, right? Yeah. I mean, SoCal, if you want to shop, you're either in a shitty area of town, and even then it's expensive, right?
And it's super regulated as well.
That's
as
true.
To where, this...
What you can and can't do.
Right. It's rapidly decreasing the amount of Wild West that is left here, but up until, within the last 5 or 6 years, really, it's still been pretty wide open for whatever you want to do.
Right. Carry a gun on your side.
Yeah, carry a gun on your side. EPA regulations are here, but with like chrome shops and everything, there was 10 chrome shops in the heyday of all of us doing a lot of production stuff. Like that's dwindled down to I think 1 now, which is makes it rough. But
yeah, Yaffe and I talk about it all the time. It's a pain in the ass to get shit chromed.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Nearly impossible anymore. Which I love all the shiny stuff, but I've become. I just had this conversation because the bike that we're doing on the Torch side is lots of chrome, lots of shiny shit, and I haven't done that in a handful of years because most of the stuff we've been doing is FXR division, which is primarily black powder coat or a raw finish or something like that. It's not. It's a completely different animal.
100%.
So yeah, we just had this conversation. I'm like, man, as the bike comes together, I'm like, once we get to this stage, love it. But thinking about having to deal with all the years that we've been dealing with the nightmares that come with chrome, thinking about it on the front end of it,
right.
I want nothing to do with it.
So you're legit in the area out here. Went from 10 almost to 1. Chrome shops.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, because you think about the time of, say like the Fat Tire Chopper.
Yeah.
There was when JC, you said something about him earlier. Like he's had multiple different shops. Like there was a ton of different custom painters because there was so many bike shops here doing all production stuff.
Titan was, remember that?
Titan, one of them.
Yeah.
What's the one that was in Casa Grande? Saxon was down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you had guys like Jim Nazi, you had Yaffe, you had all these guys that have been doing all this stuff for a lot of years. You had Pure Steel.
I remember Pure Steel. Yeah.
That's another very wild individual, Danny. So yeah, you had there was so much stuff here that there was so many paint shops, powder coat shops, chrome shops, all in this area. You had Mike at Kerr West was another one that did a ton of chroming for everybody. At Concourse Chroming, you had, Fernando's Metal Polishing, which has been there forever, which is still there. That's who we use for everything and have for almost 20 years, or a little over 20 years now. But yeah, I mean, that's all.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's all gone.
Well, that Nasty's gone now. I just found out from my marketing manager. He literally shut his doors.
He moved to upstate New York.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, nothing.
I didn't even know.
Forever.
He didn't even say nothing. I didn't even know he was moving. I had to go to say bye to him, give him a hug. Nothing.
Nothing lasts forever.
Rewind the clock and give us the background of Justin. Like, what got you in the industry? What got you riding, building what you're doing?
Go earlier. Like, when did you move here? Like, tell us about like your,
So I mean, as a kid, just always riding dirt bikes and whatever. My dad was big into custom cars and hot rods and motorcycles and drag racing and whatever else. And always hung around with the various crowds. So there was a lot of people buy on motorcycles and things as a kid, and then kind of progressed from there. I was more into the car side of things, the automotive side, in my earlier days. Through my teenage years and into early 20s, and then I started to get into the motorcycle stuff after that because more of a cars are it's a big project. I worked at different hot rod shops, worked at different custom shops. I did a lot of chassis work and building full chassis for places and things like that. So that's a lot of my fabrication background. And then being in Phoenix, it's almost impossible to not be a fabricator and somewhere along the way work in the off-road industry, whether it be for Geyser or whoever.
Right.
It's difficult to, or Fodrils or whatever. Like I've kind of skipped around a few of those different places. So just all automotive stuff basically, but primarily custom cars and lowriders was most of the stuff that I was doing.
64 Impalas, you ever do any of those?
Yeah. But actually the first, quote unquote job that I had was, I lived in Tucson at this time. So I'm basically from Tucson, but I've lived here for way longer than I lived there.
Yeah.
But, so I would get off. My dad had a buddy down the street that had a paint body and fabrication shop. I would get off the bus and just keep walking in junior high and walk down to his place at, 12 years old. And I just did grunt work, just the bitch stuff, just cleaning up and doing whatever. And for whatever reason, we were, a little ways outside of Tucson. So it was a place called Picture Rocks, which is mostly just, you'd said multi-acre properties, just kind of the middle of the desert. We do whatever the hell we wanted out there. So he had the shop where all the guys from South Tucson would bring all their lowriders and all their stuff to get painted, get the frames wrapped, get the hydraulic setups put in. And I was into all that stuff anyway. So I just went down there and just, at that point we were flame cutting plates. So he taught me how to use the cutting torch, and he would mark it out with a chalk pencil, and I would cut all the stuff and then say, all right, here, beat all the slag off and hit it with this grinder. At that point it's stone discs and just archaic shit that compared to what we do now. I don't even allow a stone disc in my shop.
Yeah.
It's not even allowed to be in the building.
Yeah.
But yeah, so doing that stuff, that's where it all spawned from. So I think that has a lot to do with the styling and all the things that I'm into, like on the torch side of things. And then a lot of like with the FXR division side, like my dad was all about going fast and drag cars and fast everything. So boats, drag boats, whatever, jet boats, whatever it was, he was all about going fast. So that's where that side of it, I think, comes from. And that allows me to span the gap between the two, I guess.
That's cool.
I'm not real sure how that all came to be, but yeah.
That's cool. So when did you move from Tucson to Phoenix?
I think I was 20 or 21.
How old are you, by the way?
43.
43?
Yeah, just turned 43 in June. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I just moved up here. I think it was 20 or 21. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, she was coming up here to go to ASU. And I needed to get out of Tucson because there was
Nothing.
None of the shit that I know. Like there is now. There's multiple shops. There's multiple like high end hot rod shops and bike stuff and whatever. But there was none of that there in late '90s, early 2000s. It didn't exist.
I went to U of A, so I was there for 4 years, and I left in '94, and it was way different then than it is.
Way different. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I moved up here just with the hopes of getting a job at a shop, and I got a job at a shop in Avondale, and I lived at what I thought was at 40th Street 44th Street in Oak, so Thomas.
That's a trek.
At that point, and I worked at the discount tire that was just down the street from there. So every day I worked from like 6 to 2, and then I would drive my ass to Avondale, which took me 30 minutes.
Right.
At that point, now it would take you 2 hours at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get there.
Yep.
I'd drive there, and I would work till 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning because the guys that were there, they just kept going.
Yep.
And then I would drive my dumb ass back across town, get a couple hours of sleep, wake up, and I did that 7 days a week because we were there Saturdays and Sundays.
Damn.
And so it just, I don't have that in me anymore for sure.
How long did you do that for?
I did that probably every day for probably 2 years.
Okay.
Or damn near every day for probably 2 years. And then, I did it for free, like an idiot. Like they would pitch me a couple bucks every once in a while, but I was just young and I was just hungry. I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to be around it. I didn't care.
Sure.
I wasn't trying to make money. I made just enough money to cover my rent and, go to dinner with a lady every once in a while.
Sure.
And I didn't need anything other than that. So, and then they finally gave me a job at, I don't know, like 50 cents an hour, I think. It was absolute dog shit. But again, I didn't care. I just wanted to be there all the time.
Is what that was. They had to have you on some payroll somehow to keep you there.
That place I learned a lot from that place, but I learned more of how not to run a business and what not to do from that place because it was an absolute fucking disaster.
Sure.
Customers in there all the time. It was the hurry up and touch this real quick, or angry people coming through the door, and the owner would just schmooze them over and somehow talk them out of more money, but we haven't done shit in 6 months on their car.
That's
so
crazy.
It was a wild place for sure. There was a lot of things that went on there, but again, I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to, and the guy that I was working with at the time was a good fabricator, so I learned a lot from him. And then I did that for a handful of years, and then I couldn't do it anymore, so I left there and got a quote unquote regular job for a while.
What was that?
I worked at a place doing like lift kits and lowering kits and alignments and that type of stuff. So and it was a flat rate job, and Travis, the guy that worked in the stall next to me, it was just him and I come in and he kind of showed me the ropes and helped me out with, I didn't know how to run an alignment machine. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, but he was a legit mechanic. But it was flat rate. We were fucking killing it. We're getting paid 21 hours a truck, and we would do them in 8.5 hours.
Wow.
So we would do, we were there 6 days a week, just killing it. But then the market crashed and nobody was, but it was all like lifted crew cab, HD 2500 GMCs, and they were just rolling everything into the loans. So the people would walk in on Saturday, they'd sell every truck that was on the lot. And then every Monday morning we'd get to the shop and there'd be a line of trucks out back. Hey, we need all these done this week. All right.
That's crazy.
Pull your pocketbook out. We'll get this shit done.
It's very cyclical. You're right. That what's the off-road place in that's massive in Gilbert or Mesa?
Super Duty headquarters, STHQ.
Yeah, Super Duty. Yeah,
they've grown to be massive over the last handful of years.
Yeah.
Like they were when I was doing the off-road stuff. Like I worked for Danny Fowler for a little while, and that's one of those ones that I got coaxed out of there to go do another job similar to what the lift kits and all that stuff.
Sure.
And then with all these promises of weekly guarantees and all this stuff, and it quickly declined. And the whole time I'm like, I should have stayed at Danny's. I should have stayed at Faudel's and continued to learn. But it's all part of the path. I wouldn't be sitting on this couch had I not made that decision.
Any other regrets along the way, or things that you've done that you wish you could have done differently?
No, I'm not much of a regret type of person because everything, all the mistakes and the proper choices that you make, again, that's why I'm here on this couch.
Sure.
So I'm happy with all the things that I've achieved.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think that's a thinking about that type of shit is a waste of time, waste of energy. What could have done, what could have happened,
True.
You brought up the former girlfriend, now wife.
Yep.
What kind of woman is she to put up with you?
A wild angel.
So she goes in stride with you then?
Couldn't be more in stride.
That's awesome.
Like to the point where all the time, you know, it's slowed down over the years now, but a lot over the years is how do you deal with this shit? You know, she says, since the moment I met him, this is what it's been like.
Sure.
So, you know, I knew what I was getting.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it is what it is. We found a balance. I don't know.
There
But
you
she's,
go.
and too, like I spent a lot of years traveling in the early days, like trying to build the brand.
Right.
You know, prior to Chris and I coming together and starting the FXR division stuff, it was just Torch. And I spent a lot of every other weekend, you know, gone between California, where, you know, mostly California at that point. And I had another friend of mine, Robbie, who was all the Supreme 70s stuff. So he had started, and he was pushing real hard at that point too. And, you know, we had enough gas money to get there and back. We didn't have a place to stay or, you know, money for a place to stay. So we were sleeping in the truck, couch surfing, whatever we had to do. Some of the shittiest, most disgusting hotels I've ever stayed in my life was robbing out, like full, your clothes on, hoodie up, pulled, and just fucking sleeping like this.
Mold
just
everywhere.
Yeah, just like,
Condoms.
come on, please don't, nothing get on me. I just need a couple hours so we can get back in the truck and go.
Yeah, but those are the places you remember. You don't remember the fancy joints you stayed at.
Absolutely.
So what were you doing on those trips? Are you looking for dealers?
No, we were just hitting shows, hitting events,
Okay, shows.
networking.
Got it.
Like, you know, this was the very beginning or just before like Instagram and stuff had started. So we're talking 2010, 2011, right around in there. So, and then moving into, like, I remember the first conversation I had with a guy, Big Tiny, who was unauthorized ink. He was like, hey, are you doing this Instagram thing? No. He's like, the fuck are you doing, man? You got to get on there. Like, I don't really care about that shit, you know, not that person. So it was a difficult thing, but, you know, we did it. And obviously we've been on it for over a decade now. But prior to that, it was, you had to go to the shows. You had to be seen. You had to stand in front of people and shake hands. And you might have to go to an event 3 or 4 times before you get to get in front of somebody that can get you somewhere. But through that, and that, you know, circle back around to my wife, she understood, she was supportive 1,000% from the beginning and understood that this is part of what needs to happen. And then I would go to these things and nothing would happen. I would just go and meet these people. And then 6 months later, get a phone call. Hey man, I met you at such and such event. I need to get some parts, or, you know, let's talk about a bike build or whatever. And she would see it just come back.
That's
awesome. You never know. Like, you're putting in, like, you may go, like, you know, I meet you somewhere along the way, and I don't know who you are, but you remember, and you say, like, I've had numerous conversations where, hey man, I met you here with so and so, and I'm like, yeah, no idea. And then I see him. Yeah, then I see him. I'm like, oh yeah, and I remember that. I'm much better with faces than I am with just names and you know that. So I have numerous, you know, occasions that stuff has happened, or they call and say, hey, we have this event going on. We saw you guys at this. We liked your bike. Can you bring it here?
Sure,
absolutely. And then that leads to something else. But the whole time, like, you're just paying out. Like, you're not
right.
There's no
immediate return.
There's no immediate financial return from this stuff. So it's like, you have to be willing to just scrape the bottom and wait and see how it goes, unless you have another means of income or something happening.
Yeah. Which people don't realize that even with our company, you know, we've been on 25 years, and it's there's no such thing as like overnight success.
No.
It just
sure there is. It's 10, 20 years in the making overnight success.
There you go. Yeah.
They don't see that element of it.
But it's just keep putting it out there, like you said, and then if you have a good product or service and you're an honest, decent person, generally things work out for you. You know.
Right.
So.
Yep.
So fast forward, you did all these different jobs. How did, you know, the companies that you own now come to be, and you and your partner get together? Talk to us about that.
So when I was working at the first, like, the automotive place doing the lift kits and all that stuff, I had a house and I had just a 2-car garage, a couple of roommates, a welder, you know, a little tubing bender and some other stuff. And I was just, these guys were buying trucks and cars and whatever else. I wasn't doing that. I was buying tools and buying, you know, equipment and things. So got to the point where I had too much stuff going on. The garage didn't work anymore. So I found, with another guy that I was hanging out with at that time, we found a shop downtown. It was like a 3,500 square foot building. So I don't want to say it was like $2,000 a month or something. So it's like, all right, we'll split it. He had some projects going on, and I was doing all the fab work and most of the work anyway. So he's like, yeah, I'll go in on that. So we got that spot, and then so we moved everything into there, and that was about that was 2005. So that was about the time like the whole torch thing came to be.
Oh, so you've been doing this for 20 years then?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. I mean, it's slow roll leading up to things, right? So that was it was more like we had a name. It was a hobby deal, like, and same thing, like now I just went from driving from Bell in the 101 to downtown and back rather than driving from Scottsdale to Avondale.
Right.
So just kind of switched to the angle across the city. That's pretty much it. So yeah, we did that we had that place for probably 2 years, and then I managed to get us kicked out.
What'd you do?
Nice.
Yeah, the guy. So we subleased it from another guy who was a concourse restoration guy, and he had a building or had a space on the other side of the building. Well, all in between us was band rooms. This was on 11th Street in Van Buren, and at the time too, where like there was a hooker block right across the street. Like there was prostitutes there every night. Guys pull in, drive in the neighborhood. There was guys standing on every corner trying to sell you whatever you want.
Nice neighborhood. Nice place.
Yeah. It was not the gentrified downtown area that it is now. So it was a whole different time. But yeah, so we were in there, and the guy that ran, like the property manager for the place, he was a band groupie. He was there to he wasn't in a band, I don't think, maybe wasn't musical, I don't know. He was there to try to blow every dude in there that was in a band, just to try to be around it and hang out. So he didn't like us at all, because and he tried to tell us, oh, you can't park here on Friday and Saturday night because we have all the bands. Like, fuck you, man, I pay rent too.
Right.
I'm going to park right out here.
Right.
And we had 2 spots, and then we would park sideways in front of the big roll-up door. So it wasn't, So, but yeah, the guy I was hanging out with at the time, my partner at the time, he decided, we had a little office, and he decided to steal the light bulbs out of the hallway. So like 8-foot tube lights out of the hallway, and put them into the office. Well, not paying attention to the fact or noticing that the property manager guy had just replaced every light in the hallway, and the ones that came out of our office were covered in dust.
Right.
So he puts all these ones in the hallway like a fucking retard, and just an absolute idiot, and doesn't even wipe them off or anything. So he puts, and they got fingerprints on it, like, big grip marks on them so this guy comes in hot, and I don't know. I had no idea. So he's coming in trying to tell me I stole lights. I'm like, fuck off. You can call me a lot of things, but a thief is not one of those things. So he comes in, and he charges past me and goes into the office, and he's like, see, I told you stole these and this, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm ready to get after it with him.
You seem pretty mild-mannered.
I'm very mild-mannered.
Until you're not, right?
Correct, yeah. I mean, a lot of people are like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a tough guy. I got nothing to prove. I'm just, put me in that situation, though.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll do what I got to do.
Sure.
So, so he quickly realizes that he's now in a back room by himself, 3 corners away from any kind of door or any kind of safety, and he turns and like just takes off running. And I try to grab him as he's going out the door, and he makes his way around. So then I come charging out, and he's just like runs out, and my partner at the time is outside leaning against the wall, the one who caused all the shit. He doesn't even come in, done nothing. So I'm chasing the dude out of the building, and and he's, as he rounds the corner outside, he's yelling, "You guys are fucking out of here! You're fucking out of here!" So then I come to the door, and he's just leaning against the wall. So, way to go, asshole. I'm like, me, motherfucker. How is this my fault?
Over a couple
You're
light
the
bulbs.
dumbass that stole the light bulbs out of the hall. And I'm like, he's like, well, and then he tells me that he took the light bulbs. I was like,
oh, really?
yeah.
That's funny. Well,
so then we got,
story.
a few minutes later, we got a phone call from the guy we were subleasing from, and he had told us to avoid the guy. He's a jackass. He's like, I fucking told you, man, stay away from that guy. I'm like, yeah, there's no arguing. There's no discussion. Yeah. We'll pack our shit. So from there we moved to Glendale, and I was there for a couple years. We were one little spot in Glendale, and then I moved to a spot on Northern, which we were at for I think almost 7 years. And that's where Chris and I came together. Like that's where it went to be. At that shop is where it went to be a full-time gig for me. Okay. So that was, I want to say that was 2010.
So how did you and Chris come together?
So like I had, Foundry Moto stuff was big. I don't know if you were a part of any of that. So Foundry Moto was it was a wild place. It was on 27th Avenue in Orangewood.
Yeah, I don't know that place.
Yeah.
Foundry Moto.
So multiple guys came together, Chris being one of them, and one of the guys his family had this property there that was a couple acres and had a big steel building on it, but like none of it was permitted. It was all, the wiring for the place was bootlegged off. There was a little house. So nice. they're trying to run all it was, yeah. And it was a shit show.
Walk around barefoot anywhere.
Yeah. No, it was a shit show, but some of, the most iconic, for sure, the most iconic parties that have ever happened in the city happened on that property. Some of the best choppers and bikes to ever come out of the city came out of that building. And just stories for years worth of stories. So, to the point where the last party that was there got raided by the ATF and the DEA and the fishing game, and there was helicopters and there was
three departments.
Yeah. So allegedly there was an alligator that was in a
fishing game came in.
And
fish cop shows up. There's something.
Yeah, in an illegally dug basement that had a shooting range in it.
There's the guns. Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then that's where the alligator lived.
Where's the DEA?
So
and drugs?
No. Well, because they basically they just created, this whole thing that they've got fucking 6,000 pounds of weed and coke and heroin and everything else in this building. That's what they're doing there. The alligator's guarding it. All this created ass shit. But they couldn't prove anything, so they came in on the backs of, we heard there's an alligator in there and Fish and Game can go in there, so then everybody else came in.
Yeah, they don't need a warrant for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they came in and guess what they found? Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Because it was all created bullshit.
A little stuffed alligator. 3 feet long.
Yeah. So that is, we had all crossed paths at that point, and then, fast forward a handful of years where all of that shit fell apart, and I was my buddy Robbie, who I was traveling with a lot in the beginning. Him and I were together all the time. He was at the shop all the time. We were on the road all the time. And Chris had another guy building an FXR for him, Keith Cole, who was another Phoenix legendary individual. Well, Keith had run, doing a lot of work at other jobs and everything, and like the motorcycle stuff was just his little side gig. And he was probably, if not the first one of the first ones within this city doing twin cam FXR stuff.
Okay.
So pretty much everything that we do comes from what Keith was doing originally and what had done on that original bike for Chris, and then we just kind of snowballed it from there. Even like Tony's kickstand kit and crossmember and all that stuff all ultimately spawns from what Keith was doing, and then we got Tony and I came together and I gave swapped information, and then he created that whole little kit to make it easier, because I was hand making the stuff before, and then he just took it to the next level and made it an even better product. But yeah, so Chris was talking to Robbie saying, Keith doesn't have time. He's busy. I want to get this thing done. And Robbie said, well, fuck, bring it over to the shop. Bring it to Justin. So Chris called me up and then like, hey, I hear you're doing this and that, whatever. Can I bring the bike over? I said, yeah, bring it over. So he brought the bike over, and then that bike turned into 2 bikes, turned into 3 bikes, turned into, why don't we get some customer shit in here, to, hey, I've got this guy we already have the molds. We're making P bags. He was a personal friend of Skip Taylor, who had created the side covers that we sell in, the 80s. Where Ness tried to buy them prior to Ness even having their own side cover. They tried to work a deal with Skip, and then it all went south. I don't know. There's 2 sides to every story. I don't know where that one landed. So
3. 2 sides plus
correct,
the truth.
correct. Spoken like an attorney.
Exactly. Luckily, I'm not one.
No, well,
story.
Yeah, so that turned into, I'm a metal guy, and I have a fabrication shop. So why don't we create some handlebars, and he's doing the P bags. Well, why don't we create our own rail system to go around them, and just kind of went from there. And then I think we probably started talking about it in maybe 2012 or so. And then we officially had a website and launched everything in 2013.
Which brand first?
FXR division on that one. Okay. Yeah. Torch has been going since 2005.
Okay.
So I had the building, everything in the shop on Northern and Glendale. when Chris and I came together.
Are you jonesing for a great ride or go to a really cool event, whether it's local, maybe regional, or even national? Well, I've got the solution for you. At Law Tigers, we provide resources such as where all these events are taking place. It gets updated regularly with all the latest and greatest events, and I'm sure there's some that you would want to go to definitely. So if you're looking for that great ride or great event, visit lawtigers.com/events and check out what's going on in your area or nationally. So for people watching this that don't know, so explain the difference between Torch versus FXR division. And
so Torch is more, it's more like just a custom cruiser. Like I like to think of it more of, I kind of bounce between like 60s Southern California custom cruiser to, you know, and like 30s, 40s era, you know, what you would call in the lowrider scene, like a bomb. Lots of accessories, trim, things of that sort. Like that's it's kind of somewhere between those two.
Okay.
At the point when we started doing it, there wasn't really a term for it.
Right.
It's now spawned into what is now known as like Avicla, which is not what I consider what we do.
Okay.
It's nothing like all the parts that we do could absolutely be done to that for sure. Sure. But it was just more like a custom lowrider style is what that is.
So you have a whole parts line under Torch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a whole parts line under Torch. So for years we handmade all stretch fenders and long fenders and everything. I'm not a sheet metal shaper by any means, but I can bang shit around enough to make it look how it needs to look.
Sure.
So I would hand make the fenders for a lot of years. And then it got to the point where, you know, enough things happened to where the finances were right to look into having them stamped. So I had them stamped we have them stamped in Michigan actually.
Oh, nice. Made
So
US.
it's all, everything that we do is US made.
Everything
that we do is US made. If we sell other products that aren't,
right,
but if it has our name on it, if it's our part, it's a
that's awesome.
It's a US made
never
product.
change. That'll always be the case.
Yeah, that'll always be the case. So, I mean, I guess I can never say never, but because who knows what the hell the future brings. But that is forever and always our goal in the plan.
Well, with the tariffs now, it's a good thing actually. I hope
Yeah, you
still got to get the steel. I mean,
that's true.
All
Yeah,
that
but we
US-based steel's gone through the roof now.
Because that's a whole nother subject. But when the tariff stuff hit and all the Chinese steel went up, rather than being like, all right, cool, we're already doing well, we can keep it here. Those fucking cocksuckers just raised the tariffs went what 25 or 30%, and they just went 5% under what the Chinese steel was coming in at.
That's terrible.
So it was an immediate thing. It's like, motherfuckers, man. Like you're whether you agree with whatever the hell it is, like whether they work or not, you're making sure that it doesn't.
Right. That's true.
You're just gouging people is all you're doing.
So we talked about the Torch line, and then obviously FXR division, FXR parts, right?
That's what it started out as, yeah. And then at one point, it kind of became, it was all FXR parts. And whether it be stuff that we make or stuff that we got from other people that, you know, there wasn't enough of a demand for it to make sense for us to produce it, which is very much still a thing.
Right.
Chris's vision was to have the website be something that you can go to and you can basically build your entire bike off of.
Cool.
And he wanted to have all these other products on it and all this other stuff. My vision was we make all this shit. Fuck everybody else. What do you want to put all that shit on there for?
Right.
Like I want our products on it.
Right.
I was the first one to admit I was extremely wrong.
Yeah.
Extremely wrong. Because we would not be anywhere near as successful as we are if we were only selling our product.
Right.
Like it keeps the guys in the shop busy. It keeps everything going, you know, and keeps us, we're always trying to develop, like, you know, it doesn't always hit. It doesn't always come to fruition. We've got tons of products that they just sit on the shelf because they'd probably be great sellers, but we're a small crew. So trying to get all the stuff out there too is always a difficult thing.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it started out as just FXR related parts. But as the years go by, you realize that you can't just stick to that small niche.
Right.
And at the time when we started it, there was no such thing as a performance bagger.
Right.
There was no such thing as the new Softails.
Right.
It was FXR and Dyna. That was it. And we weren't really Dyna guys, so we made like our crash bars and the bars and things like that will work on the Dynas. But
right.
we're FXR division, we're FXR guys.
Right.
So yeah, it just kind of, it spawned into when the performance bagger stuff started to come around, which we did our first one, I think in 2015. And it was, we weren't the first ones to do it, but we were on the front end of the curve.
Right.
We kind of have a tendency of being on the front of the curve, and then I don't know if it's a macho thing, a ego thing or whatever. Like we push hard to get there, and then it's like, whatever. Like because that's a downside of being a quote unquote creative, right?
Sure.
I enjoy the hunt,
Then
the
you
chase,
move on to something else, right?
and then once we get to the finish line, like, all right, what's next?
That's right.
Because now this has become boring to me.
Sure.
So that's why Chris and I work so well together, because I don't think about the money side of it.
Sure.
He does.
Yeah.
To a balance. Like he's a creative also. Like we both come together on the creative side of things, but he picks up where I drop off.
Sure.
On the financial side, because I'm a simple means individual. Like I like all the fancy shit that I have, like the bikes and whatever else.
Sure.
But if I didn't have it, I'm not going to die.
Of course. Of course. Well, it's good to, like I said, you each have your relative strengths. And focus,
yeah.
So you sell and so you manufacture FXR parts. Do you manufacture bagger parts as well?
Yeah.
And then you also sell other people's stuff? Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the things too. Like we sell parts that Tony makes. We sell parts that Trask makes, and, stuff that Mike Porum makes, and whoever. Like we have good relationships with a lot of different people. Would be Bare Knuckle Paul, or, the guys at Alloy Art, or Speed Kings, or there's so many people that are within this industry that are all great human beings, and they're in it for the same reason that we are.
Right.
And I would rather sell that stuff all day over, a big name company's stuff that doesn't know.
Wait a minute, you're not carrying Harley parts? Come on, man. I mean,
we have a good relationship with Harley, and there is some stuff that you have to do. Like there's things we have to get from Harley, because we have a good relationship with with the local guys and all that stuff, and we have a good relationship with the corporate side of things too. So, but if I can support the little guy like us, I'm going to do that all day.
Oh, no.
Is there some companies' parts? Is there certain companies' parts you won't carry that have asked you to carry them?
I can't really answer that question, because even sometimes where there's stuff where I'm like, fuck that guy, I don't like his parts, I don't like him.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Or whatever. Chris doesn't care, because he just looks at it from the money side. He's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Take feelings out of it. People want this shit, buy it.
Yeah.
So, but that's also, again, I've learned that if there's a piece or something that I truly love and I have a lot of passion behind in what we do, probably not going to sell.
Yeah. Well, you can have passion projects, and then the commercial stuff.
I'm much more. I don't even know what the proper term is, but I'm more harsh on the things that are out there, and like I have most of the things that sell and most of the things that people find cool, I want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. I don't know what part of me it is that does that, but
You're a trendsetter.
I guess, yeah. I mean, good, bad, or otherwise, or whatever that term actually really means. I don't know, but yeah, I don't. There are some people, but
you don't want to name them.
It's not worth it.
That's the one question I was like, who has no business being in the motorcycle
Who's the biggest
world?
dick in the industry? Tell us. Come on. Now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're probably on the same page with that.
I guarantee we have a few of the.
Yeah. So Lionel's not really an FXR guy.
I'll tell you, before you sell me out here, I will say it. I'm not an FXR guy. And here's my reason. I've ridden it. Mm-hmm. They ride great. Love the bikes. I'm to the point where everyone loves the FXR. It's the greatest bike Harley has ever built. And I'm like, you've now turned me off. Like, I don't want it now. Don't tell me it's the best.
I have.
And don't choke it down my throat and tell me I have to have it. Ari's got two of them.
I love them.
But
I'm like,
I have a similar demeanor.
I love them.
Yeah, I have a similar demeanor. If you're telling me that I should be doing something, but which is the reason why I work for myself and have all this stuff, because I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to force something on me, that again, same thing. I immediately want to turn the opposite direction. I'm like, fuck off, man. You guys can go do that shit over there. And I'm gonna find a different route. But I mean, I still like the FXR. So,
dude, and to me, until you, like I said, the moment I got on one, I just knew.
Yeah.
Just the handling, the responsiveness, how nimble it is, and I'm like, I have a bunch of Harleys, and I've had a bunch of Harleys, and to me, still, there's nothing like that bike. It just puts a smile on my face, and to me, it's the closest thing to like riding a sport bike without riding a sport bike.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in to your point, and in defense of that, Chris and I started out on choppers. Yeah. So we, Chris made the point. We always make the joke of the FXR is a chopper killer, because when you come off of choppers and you get on an FXR, you're like, holy shit! But also, your baseline is a chopper, rigid kick only. Probably hand shift, chopper. So if you get on an FXR, you get on a moped and it's the greatest fucking thing you've ever done. So,
very true.
So you jump to the FXRs, you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
And then, when the new Softail came out and we rode that, it was like, oh, these are the FXR killers. Like, I still love it. Yeah. But if I'm going from here to the East Coast, probably gonna jump on that Softail, or I'm gonna jump on my Road Glide, because it's not gonna shake me to death. When I get off the bike at the end of the day, I'm going to feel a hell of a lot better. I can do 800 to 1,000 miles pushing at, 110, 115, and the bike just doesn't care. Yeah. Doesn't care. True.
Yeah, so I have a 16 Lowrider S, which is the Dyna. Mm-hmm. And I rode the new Lowrider S, the Softail, and there's a big difference. Yeah. I can feel it.
It's a massive difference. Like so because Harley did such a shit job of launching that bike in 2018, we were in the first round of when Harley got with Born Free, and, saying without saying, hey, we fucked this up so bad, we need help. Yeah. Right. So they went to Mike and Grant at Born Free and said, hey, basically they came up with this idea they were going to give away 6 new Softails and let the aftermarket do what they do and help. So as much as Harley up until that point was of the mindset, fuck the aftermarket, we don't need the aftermarket, they need us. That is a great thing for us, because it caused an absolute 180 degree flip of what that relationship was prior to that. So, and fortunate enough for us, we had built enough of a name, we had enough of a rapport and a friendship and relationship with Mike and Grant that they put us in the first group of 6 to get one of those bikes. So we got one in 2018, and we built it and then it went to the 115th anniversary in Milwaukee, which was the first. It's what started this whole now like homecoming series. So it was the 115th, and 18 was the first one of that caliber. And then they were doing it 5 years, and now they've gone to, we're going to do it every year. So we got that bike and built a monster out of it. We got, Danny at Motor Witch, it was leading edge at that point. He was still Motor Witch, but the company was leading edge, and he had come up with that whole engine kit. So we did that engine on that, and we had I think the first or the second one of those that he had produced was in that bike. And then, with the Baker drivetrain, who we deal a lot with, Scott and Bert and all those guys over there. So we built that whole bike up, which helped to start the process of people being like, okay, these are all right.
Taking note to them now. Yeah.
Right. Well, and then too, like once you could run your mouth on the internet and say all this stuff, like it was hilarious. Like I was enjoying the shit out of all of it. All the memes and all the things that were coming out were absolutely hilarious. But then we got it, and you get on it. It's like, oh shit. All right. This is a whole nother animal.
Right.
Like you just have to get on one.
Right.
And then you're going to completely change your mind.
Sure.
Of what it is. We had a customer who 2 years ago, no, it was a year ago, prior to Sturgis, he had an RT built, all, SNS everything, Baker everything, and he was having some issue with it, so he went and bought a new ST. He's like, I'm taking this thing on this trip, and I'm fucking selling it as soon as I get back. I said, no, you're not. He's like, I'm an FXR guy. I'm an FXR guy. I'm an FXR guy. So I was like, okay. So we did bars and a few other little things for it, did a little tour pack on it for him, like a RT tour pack on it for him. And then I saw him at the FXR show in Sturgis, saw him from across. So at Big Joe's show, I saw him from across the way, and he was leaning up against a pole, and he looked over across the way and caught eyes with me, and I went like this and just like gave him that, and he was fuck. I walked across, he's like, it's amazing. You're right.
Yeah.
Like I told you, the first 100 miles, by the first gas stop, like, I don't ever want to get off this thing.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, when you come from the FXR stuff, like it's a whole different world.
What about the new one? Like Ryan, we're friends with Ryan Cruzy too.
Yeah,
and he's been doing shit to the what's the new Nightster?
Yeah, the Nightster, the Sportster S. Yeah. With Cruzy.
Yeah.
So we did. We have an airbox that we do for the Pan Am. So we got a Pan Am. So we did the same thing with Harley. They gave us another bike in 2 years ago. I don't know, for the 120th.
Okay.
I think it was 2 years ago now.
What'd they give you?
We chose the Pan Am.
Pan Am. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they give you, here's the bikes that are available.
Right.
Kind of a thing. Or they say, hey, what do you want? And everybody picks Road Glide, Softail, whatever.
Of course.
Like, I want a Pan America.
Yeah, I have one. I love it, by the way. I love it.
Well, we turned ours into like a performance touring bike.
Yeah, nice.
And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Remember Chris and I had the conversation, like, what do you think you want? So we want a Pan Am. Seriously? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I got in my head.
Yeah.
Immediately, we were both on the same page.
Cool.
All right. So we built that bike, which is the best Harley I've ever fucking ridden in my life. So
you still have it?
No, we sold it to a customer a little over a year ago.
Yeah, I took mine to Sturgis.
Just under a year ago.
I took mine to Sturgis last year, and then Tony calls me like 2 days before Sturgis. Tony May's like, I need a favor. I'm like, what? He's like, I need the Pan. I bought it from him. He's like, I need the Pan Am. Can I borrow it? I know it's a big ask. I'm like, take it. So he wrote it. It's actually going back to him this week to get tires and service because he put like 3,000-4,000 miles on it. But dude, I'll tell you, that bike's handles well. It's fairly comfortable. Yeah.
That's the part that we corrected was the fairly comfortable.
Fairly comfortable.
We corrected the fairly comfortable.
My nuts kind of like get a little bit like scrunched up on the front.
We have mid controls for it, and we change it to again like a more of a performance touring. So it's actually
interesting.
It's on the cover of the Hot Bike magazine. You have one in your showroom.
Oh, is it?
When I was standing out there.
Seen it, actually.
Yeah.
We can't push it up right now, can we? Right? We're not working here.
No, it's not working.
That'd be cool to see it, but I'll look in the magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool bike. So.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we talked about how I'm not an FXR guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's the one bike that you're not down for? We're airing out my dirty laundry because I'm gonna get blasted because everybody loves the FXR.
Yeah. I'm not a Dyna guy.
Okay.
I've ridden a few of them, and it was not a good experience for me. And then everybody's like, oh, you got to ride the newer one with the 49 millimeter front end. Okay. So we got a customer's done. I rode it. I was pulling out of the shop, and there was like just a little hiccup in the exit, and the front end topped out. Clack! Like, the fuck is that? So it's just like little shit like that. And then plus like just from like an engineering standpoint and a design standpoint, as far as like the functionality of the frame design, absolute shit. How the hell it ever made it past all the way through the engineering department and everything to their like, yep, put the stamp of approval. This is next level superior shit. Because when you go from an FXR or a touring bike where the pivot blocks are on the outside and your swing arm is out to against the inside of the frame, and you go to something that everything is the swing arm, everything, the rubber mount, the pivot, everything comes into like a 5-inch span. Come on now.
So what is
like,
that?
No wonder it's when you hear about like the Dyna death wobble and all that stuff. So it's because the drivetrain is rubber mounted and everything. It just starts to go in opposite directions.
Got it.
Because it's just so narrow in the way that it's done. So that's why like you spend all the money on like the spoof stabilizer kit and all this other shit, or the Big Bear mounts, or the Chopper House mounts or whatever to try to make it all
interesting.
To basically widen the platform or get rid of that torsional load from side to side there. It's
interesting. How about I've heard like monoshock versus the two shocks. That's another issue because one shock, which is like sport bikes, right? Correct. And newer, the Softails.
Yeah.
You're dealing with one underneath where all the weight is versus on each side, and you don't get that.
Yeah, they're trying to fight each other.
Right.
Like in a corner, one's
compressed, one's extended.
One's compressed, one's extended, and also they're in a bind.
Right.
At the same time. So as to where a monoshock, it's doing the traveling in the same thing. It's never side loaded. It's always I'm not an engineer, so I'm trying to sound smart right now. It's not working out for me.
No, I know you're talking about it. That makes sense. It just took Harley a while to figure that out, it sounds like, eh?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that it took him a while to figure it out. One of the things with Harley is, and it's done great for them, they had a formula.
Right.
And it's been working. So until the point where it starts to not work, they were smart to say, don't fuck with it.
Right.
Like we can make little tweaks, we can make whatever. Like if you look at the touring frame, the bagger frame from, I think it's 81 was the first like tour glide.
I think so.
They didn't change the frame until 2009.
That's
There's minor changes along the way, but all the way up until an 07 or an 08, the only difference is where the battery was. The battery was side mounted on the earlier tour glide stuff, where it'd be shovel head or early Evo. Little different bracketry, but the basis of the frame is exactly the same all the way through.
Sure.
Don't fuck with it.
Sure.
So and then they were smart too, where they figured out that you can do 3 different models: Road Glide, Street Glide, Road King.
Yep.
Off of the exact same platform.
Right.
Up into this point of the assembly line, it's the same bike.
Right.
Then so it scans the VIN number. Oh, that one goes over here to the Road King line.
Yeah.
And it gets this wiring harness and
right.
But the wiring harness is the same up until that point.
That's
just
crazy,
they just plug this one in or whatever. Like it's they're smart in that aspect of it. They just they never really change much. It wasn't until the recent years that they've really started to have different models. But even you see that when they first came out with the Softail, they had the wide tire one, and then they had the FLXR, whatever that abomination was.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Right.
And so they've killed these things off, and they've gotten it down to like we were hearing for a couple of years prior to that this like Softail thing was going to happen, but it wasn't called that. It was something else. The project, I forget the fuck it was called, but it was supposed to be more of a modular situation.
Oh.
So and like after Chris and I did the first hot bike Harley build off, or not hot bike, sorry, Born Free Harley build off deal in 18. Harley asked us to come. They flew us out to Venice, and we went to like a focus group, like us and Ronnie from Speed Merchant was there. The guys from SDC were there. There was a handful of people that were at this whole deal, and they showed us all these bikes. So like, I can say it now. Like we saw the Pan America and multiple other models that just hadn't come to fruition yet.
Sure.
So they're like, we've never done this. They always did it with a focus group of like, riders in the Midwest.
Right.
So they'd never done it with any builders to try to get outside of this stuff. And, Deus, who was one of the head designers, afterwards, he's like, thank you guys so much. You're saying all the shit that I say all the time. And they just look at me like, no,
crazy.
like there's something wrong with me. Just, just blank stares. Like, get out of here. Like, every single thing that came out of your guys' mouth was in the back. Yes. It was good. And then, that is what made their decision to release these bikes that they have now, but I'm sure it didn't hurt.
Of course.
So, and I like to think that I haven't heard of it, but I like to think they've done that now, made it more of a regular thing.
Sure.
That they actually speak to the aftermarket.
Yeah.
Because as much as, again, for years, they tried to pretend that they didn't need us. They need us as much as we need them.
100%. What's funny, you talk about like the progression. Now the issue is, and I just talked to a buddy of mine here in town, and it was a Harley-Davidson dealership, and he said the bike's now just too expensive. He said, Harley did what everyone asked. They put in all the electronics and all the technology, but now it's $35,000, and people want a $25,000 bagger.
Yep.
So it's like now Harley needs to come up with a bike that has less shit in it, because a lot of these guys in their 60s don't know how to even operate all the technology. So he's like,
it was a tail wag the dog situation.
He's like, if I tell Harley one thing, it'd be like, get me something in the mid-20s that's a bagger with less tech in it. So I don't know. You're damned if you do. Damned if you don't. I don't know what the answer is.
You can't. Like, and everybody asks for all we want. They should have just brought the FXR back. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's outdated technology at this point.
Right.
Why would they go backwards?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's great for nostalgia and great for and everybody says, oh, we would totally buy that. No, you won't.
No,
you won't.
No. Because they could still get them now. Right. Guys like you, other guys out there that can build them and make them. Maybe not high-end builds, but you could do a budget-friendly build, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, they're not doing that. So why are you am I gonna think you're gonna go to Harley? I mean, like, we have a pretty decent customer base, and we do a pretty decent amount of builds. We regularly have stuff going on as far as the build side goes. But they're not gonna. It's the same thing as like, oh man, you give me a deal on this, I'm gonna bring 25 of my buddies back. Yeah, no, you're not.
No,
it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you made this, everybody I know would buy it. No.
Yeah.
We've been doing this shit for way too long to fall for any of that stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever fucked with the electric stuff yet with them or not yet?
No. Well, they separated that all out. So
yeah. Well, Ryan got a bike. The reason I ask is Ryan's got
he got a live wire.
Yeah, the smaller one, and he's going to do some shit with it, I guess. I don't know. Harley sent it to him and said, "Okay, have at it."
I'm not sure how that all works because I know they turned the Livewire project into a separate.
Yeah, they separated it out.
They separated it out, which was probably. I mean, I don't know. If you're really trying to push it, why would you separate it out? But also, if it's tanking, like get this shit
right off the book,
off of our books.
Well, then rumors had it there was going to be a class action lawsuit because a lot of these dealers had to make massive investments, not just in inventory, but actual charging stations and all of that kind of stuff, training their techs.
Yep.
And then they pull the line. It's like, well, wait a minute, I'm stuck here holding the bag for your charging stations.
I know some people got reimbursed on those.
Did they? See, I didn't hear all that. That would make sense. Harley does the right thing.
Yeah. But
for sure.
Yeah. Would you ever fuck with an electric bike?
I mean, I can't say no.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing. I mean, it'd be fun to rip one around.
Yeah.
To have one like a local deal. You know, Sean and Aaron at Suicide Machine, they still do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, hell, they fly those guys around the world doing different exhibitions and things. I mean, they were just in France. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. Those guys got it figured out. Yeah.
Good for them.
For sure, yeah. And they do stuff they do on the Pan Am side. They've done race bikes and along with the Saddleman guys and all that stuff. So
yeah.
I mean, between Saddleman and SMCO, like we have a very good relationship and a lot of back and forth with those guys for sure. So
nice.
Yeah.
How about Europeans? Like I have a BMW. I have two BMW. One BMW. What is it? It's a 1200, 1600 Tour B. Yeah, great bike.
Yeah,
handles, rips. You ever mess with?
No, I haven't. Stuff? But I don't. I like motorcycles.
Right.
So I think it's funny when people become so tribal and fall into this is all I can do. This is all we can talk about. Anything outside of this is gay as fuck. Whatever. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I like motorcycles.
Right.
Maybe like say, if I'm riding down the street and a guy pulls up on a moped, fuck yeah, dude. You're on two wheels.
That's right.
You're doing it. Your knees are in the breeze, man. What does it matter?
That's true. That's true.
I have no qualms about any of that. I'll ride whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is the bike's like in the mid 20s and it's 160 horsepower. Doesn't really need much.
And it's immediate 160 horsepower.
Yeah. Put some Remus pipes on and that's it.
Okay.
Good. But I know a lot of my buddies now, as they get older, they have both. They have a little bit of everything. Just to mix it up.
Same.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I like motorcycles.
Right.
I don't really care if it's cool. I'm into it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Or if it's weird or kooky, I like.
Yeah.
Like the weird kooky shit too sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I don't like riding anymore is choppers, but I almost died on one, so they look cool, but I don't ride them as much as I
want to build another one.
I love them,
but yeah, like I want to. So one of the guys at the shop with Zach, he's all about choppers.
Yeah,
and I've helped him out a little bit over the last couple of years doing like he did one for the People's Champ 2 years ago, and like we have guys at the shop, and the guy Ricky at the shop, he's doing a bike right now that he's thrashing it nice to try to ride on this tour.
Yeah.
Zach has a long chopper that he's going to ride on the tour with us, but it's an Evo with a Baker 6-speed.
Right.
It's
so
good.
Still reliable. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes. So, Chris has multiple choppers. He sold a handful of them off.
Yeah.
They were all Foundry bikes. So he's still got, I don't know if he's down to one or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I think it's good to have one.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind cruising in town with it, but I had a scare where I almost died on the way to the Prowl.
Okay.
One year, got bucked in the air over overpass because of the dips in the road from all the road shit, and it just scared the life out of me. So no, I'd ride it, but more in town. But that's it. Yeah.
And listen, it wasn't just bucked. Like he sheared off foot pegs off that. I mean, it was
up, down. Yeah,
there was a lot of force in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a hell of a hit.
Yeah. I should have been down twice, coming up and then coming down. So, but I won't get rid of it.
Right.
I love it.
Right.
But I just, when you have other shit to ride, you ride what's comfortable. And
that's the thing too, is you age, the kickstarting bikes and all that stuff becomes way less appealing.
Yes.
I mean, if that was all I had, then it would be.
You wouldn't know any different.
But if you ever walk out in the shop with that one, they hit the button and it goes, and take my hands off the bars, and
I jumped on my shovel head a week ago and kicking it, and it sumped out a half a quart of oil. I'm like, oh my gosh, it sat here way too long. It just spitting it out.
Yep.
Then you've got to ride it, and it's like, okay, I can't let you puke it out. We got to go ride now. Right. My leg's falling off my body, but it's time to go.
Yep.
But
you have 2 bikes or 3 now?
I got 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I built.
Yeah, he builds them. I buy them. He builds them. I'm not that good with my hands.
Yeah, I remember early on in Chris and I's friendship relationship, hearing stories of they had been in another state and with some guys and some shit went off in a bar and those guys run out and jump on their FXRs and boom, 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 and they're gone. And then the other 3 guys out there trying to kickstart like, fuck.
That's funny. That sums it up.
Someone's gonna get caught with that tab.
Yeah.
They're paying the bill tonight.
Yeah. Cops on the way. We got to get the hell out of here. And that electric start, boom, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
Something to be said.
Are you jonesing for a great ride or go to a really cool event, whether it's local, maybe regional, or even national? Well, I've got the solution for you. At Law Tigers, we provide resources such as where all these events are taking place. It gets updated regularly with all the latest and greatest events, and I'm sure there's some that you would want to go to definitely. So if you're looking for that great ride or great event, visit lawtigers.com/events and check out what's going on in your area or nationally. So you've been doing this obviously a long time. Like, what's the best part of this industry, and what's the absolute worst part in your mind, in your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, I love for me, like the creativity, that side of it is what I love the most. And it hasn't even been probably since in like the last 5 or 6 years that I really started traveling on bikes and getting into that side of it. I had young kids and was trying to build a business and barely had $1 to my name.
Right.
So it wasn't, so like I said, like the last 5 or 6 years that everything has progressed to a point where we can take a week off and we can go do a 4,000 mile trip on new bikes that we built that, a few years ago we couldn't afford the tires on.
Sure.
So that I've grown to really love the traveling. And then like just had this conversation again at the shop. Lots of conversations have happened recently over building these bikes. So we Zach and I were having the conversation of, is it the riding the motorcycle or is it all the shit that comes along with it, with the gas stops and at the hotel and at the bar and at the restaurant and everything. And like, I like to camp also while I'm riding if possible. Doesn't always work out, but there's just so much else involved that spawns from the motorcycle,
right? And
it all revolves. That's the sun that it's all revolving around. Sure. But like, I don't really care for, like I rode here today, but if my truck was there, I probably would have jumped in the truck, like not really thinking about it. Cause like just ripping across town or whatever, it's like, it's fun every once in a while, but also it's like short rides and whatever. But when you're on a long trip, like you just get into a groove and all that kind of shit disappears. Sure. Like when you're on short around town rips and you're dicing through traffic and everything else, like it's a whole different experience than when you're just out and you're just going. Like, you're just thinking about, man, I'm 10 miles in and my ass hurts. How do I got another 115, 120 miles for the next gas stop,
Why'd I sign up for this?
Yeah. So like, those moments for sure, like, oh, this is absolutely a love-hate, but still like you're out there, you're jamming, you're going, you got, if you got something going on the headphones or whatever, or if it's just, because like I always ride with my AirPods in just because the noise canceling, because I'm fucking too old to listen to exhaust screaming at me all day.
Sure.
But most of the time I just have it off and I'm just in my head thinking about my thoughts, but at least it's just muted and it's not just crazy loudness. But if I feel like listening to something, I'll like in the Road Glide. Yeah. The bagger. I just, a little touch. Oh, let's listen to some nice classical music right now. Put me in whatever mood.
Are you a classical music guy?
Yeah. I'm just throwing shit out there.
I like classical music.
No, I don't disagree. Yeah. But right now, maybe I feel like classical or some jazz.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like some Slayer. I don't know. Well, whatever I like, it's right there. It's
what the road's giving you.
Yeah, it's whatever the road's giving me. Or I just want silence and get caught in my own bullshit and air it out.
Where's your favorite? Like, we're buddies with Adam Sandoval. He travels. He used to camp out right by his bike because he didn't have any money.
Yep.
Now he owns a couple campgrounds. But what's your like most epic camping location? Where's a great place you've camped out on the bike?
I don't know. Like last year we did the FXR tour. We weren't part of it. We were part of the first year. We weren't part of it last year, but we still went. And we camped all but I think one of the nights. And that was when we got into We were in Arkansas. Can't remember the Hot Springs. We were in Hot Springs. And we rolled in. It was like 36 degrees, windy as fuck. And we pulled into the hotel. And, you know, every day we were like, all right, we're not gonna ride at night. We're going to knock this out. We're going to get there. We fuck off all day. It's 250 miles, whatever it is. We fuck off all day, going here, stopping, do whatever, like just not leaving hours after everybody else leaves. Like, it's same shit on the hot bikes. Or like, it'll be the same shit. So yeah, so we do all, and then every night it's fucking dark outside, and you're in the middle of fucking nowhere on a motorcycle, waiting for a deer or something. You're jamming along. You're like, oh, there's like 3 deer standing on the side of the road. Like, come on, all right, just stay put.
Yeah,
but yeah, we rolled into Hot Springs and we walked into the hotel, and everybody's like, "You guys camping tonight?" Like we got space on our rooms. You want to crash there? Let's do that. But along that trip, there was multiple spots. Like we were, you know, sleeping next to water. I love sleeping next to water.
Yeah.
It'd be a creek or a little river or a lake or whatever. Yeah. Especially if it's something that's running.
Yeah, a little babbling.
Yeah, a little babbling. Like a couple of the nights, like one of the nights we rolled into, I don't even remember where the hell we were. I think we were in Missouri or something. And we had set for campground. It was like, okay, we couldn't find any dispersed camping. We camped it through New Mexico and like all the way out through Oklahoma and everything. I think we were in Missouri. And we had set for that night to stay at a campground, and we reserved it. Well, then we go to the event. We do all the stuff. We go to dinner. We're hanging out with everybody. We jam down. We find a little market to get some wood. And Heath Pinter from Saddleman was on a Pan Am, and he had borrowed one from the Harley, whatever the corporate site is, where they have just all the bikes and shit in Orange County. So he had the full bags, all the shit. So he was the workhorse. He was the mule.
Carrying everything.
Yeah, we were packing everything on that thing. So we bought a couple bundles of wood. Like, cool, we're going to go over to this place. And it was by a lake. We get there. It's all locked up. You had to be there by like 10 o'clock. They close the thing. It's like midnight. All right. So we're kind of looking around, trying to see what the deal is. And we're trying to look. And my brother and I, he's like, I think we just got to get over that hill. And there's the station where whoever runs the campground is right there by the entrance, and the one side's closed and the other side has the tire spikes.
Oh, the shredders.
Yeah, the tire shredders. But there's a couple of them missing. Just perfect width for a motorcycle tire.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'm like, all right. So we walk up to the top of the hill and it's pitch black. Like, I think we just got to get to here, and then we just roll down the other side and we'll find our camp spot. We're like, all right, fuck it. So we start pushing. So we push the bikes and we get up to the top of the hill. And we start rolling down the other side, and I flip my lights on. As soon as I flip my lights on, it goes right back up the other side. And there's 5 of us. And I'm like, fuck. And my brother's behind me, and he's on my ST, and I'm on my Road Guide, which are both built HPI pipes, loud as fuck, high compression. And he just goes, boom, boom, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, fuck it. So I hit it, and it's like quiet hours after 10.
Oh, God.
So then everybody else fires their shit up, and we, go up the other side and up around the corner and down. I'm like, fuck it, I'm riding all the way to the campsite, and there's people fucking waving their arms at us and shit. Like, wow. And then the ones that were like screaming and yelling the most at us, we rounded the corner, and at that point we didn't even know where our campsite was. I just rounded the corner and found the first empty one. We're camping here.
Yeah.
So we pulled in there. And then they didn't want to come over and say anything, but they were screaming and yelling at us the whole way around. Fuck off, man. I'm not pushing the rest of this fucking way. You guys will get over it.
Yeah, it's one time.
That was a good one. But yeah, that one, it was so late. I was like, I'm not even setting my tent up. I just got my bed mat, my cot out, and just slept next to the fire. And the water was 30 feet from us.
That's awesome.
We were supposed to camp. I'm a city slicker. He's the rough and tumble guy. He'll go out and, hunt elk and quarter them and backpack them out.
Yeah.
I'm the guy staying at like the fancy hotels. But so we just came back from Eureka Springs because our friend Adam has a place there.
Yep.
Yeah, and we did some riding with him and Stacy. Got a little bit of rain, so a lot of rain. So we were supposed to bring our tent gear. So Adam's got this bad. If you ever need, by the way, not that I'm doing this on purpose, but it makes sense. He's got this badass bag called the Sandoval. We both have them, and we actually put all our shit in there and took it on the trip, and it was going to be all my tent camping gear. I bought all this stuff from REI. I just bought whatever seemed cool, air mattress, this, that, right. But everything got in there. But because of the rain, we ended up canceling on the camping, and we just stayed in his cabins, which were amazing. But I want to, I've got the Pan Am knobby tires. My buddy Justin Superstition's a big Pan Am guy, so we've been talking about going camping. So we have a guy coming in at the end of the year that's a big adventure guy.
Okay.
So he's going to take us out. I don't know if we're going to camp. We're just going to go do some off-roading. Cruz is going to go. Sandoval's going to go. And this guy, that's his thing. What's his name?
Ian. Big Rock Moto.
Big Rock Moto. So I'm super excited. But yeah, I definitely want to Pan Am with its bags and then this Sandoval pack. I mean, you can put a lot of shit in there.
Yeah.
So that's my goal is to do that, do some camping.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. We've been talking about trying to do the BDR stuff for a number of years, but just haven't.
What tent do you run when you go camping?
I bought, what tent was it? I bought one on a recommendation from Bronny at Speed Merchant, and I cannot for the life of you remember what the hell the name of it was, but he had one.
But you liking it?
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty easy pop up, but I have just a small collapsible cot.
Yeah.
So if the weather's right, then I'll just
put the cot. Yeah.
I just put the cot up and lay next to the fire.
Yeah.
That's badass.
I would rather do that than be in the tent.
Oh yeah.
Tent I got, it's like teens. It's like this little 2.
Yeah, my tent's not very big.
It's not 2-person. They just say that.
Well,
yeah,
it only needs to be one.
Mine's
going with it. That's for sure.
Mine's a 2-person, and I got a 2-person inflatable bed mat too. But also, if I can sleep on the cot, way more comfortable.
I'll have to see. I don't know if I got a cot in my little bag.
I've got a little cot like that.
Yeah, mine it breaks
tiny
down.
Little thing.
It's small.
It elevates you, or
it kind of clicks together. The only downside too is because it kind of like V's at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you get too far over, it will tip over.
It tips over.
But
I have to look into that.
Yeah, just keep your ass in the middle. You'll be all right. But yeah, it breaks down to
interesting.
Pretty small.
So we talked about what you like. What don't you like? What don't you like about this industry?
Well, I guess even on the like side, like I really like the just there's a core group of people within this industry that look out for each other. I have again a core group of individuals that if there's someone coming around with some brand or something that I don't know, say hey, because I validate everybody,
right?
Especially at this point in my life, in my career, everyone is at arm's length until you prove that you can come past that,
right?
And that's all from experience. That's all from people coming in hot and heavy, seeming like the greatest person in the world, and then the next thing you know, they're pulling money out of your pocket and stabbing you in the back. So
sure.
I keep everybody at arm's length until that, or if like I say, there's a handful of people that I can call, say, hey, what's the deal with this guy? Good guy, solid, known him for this amount of time. He comes recommended from so and so and so and so. Okay, all right, then we can talk about this. We can see what's going on. But if nobody I know knows you,
right,
we're starting from negative 20. But that type of shit is I really, really do. There is a core group of individuals within this industry that are solid, are here for the same reasons that we are, because they love it, because they want to see it grow, and they all want to see each other succeed.
Yeah.
Nobody is trying to take anything from anybody else. We have all of those individuals that have a brand, they're hanging on the wall in our shop.
Right.
Something that they make that we can sell is hanging on the wall in the shop.
Nice.
So those are I really enjoy that part of it as well. So the negative side is the inverse of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the best parts is the people. One of the worst parts is the people.
Right.
There's some leeches out there.
There are some of the biggest piles of shit I've ever met in my life within this industry, and some of them are, essentially household names that somehow continue to move through the industry without anything happening to them or being flushed out. No.
Names?
There's
how about initials?
You want the dirt, man. You want the dirt.
I don't want to get.
There's for sure a few individuals that if we ever meet in a dark alley,
it's going down.
It's going down. But if we don't, then I'm not trying to make it happen. But that part of it blows my mind, because there is, as this industry is in this, lifestyle, whatever, is built on integrity.
Yeah.
Your bond, your word is your bond, your handshake.
Yeah.
All of these types of things. And just for those types of people to exist here, it blows my mind.
Why do you think that happens?
You get these con men. I think it's mostly because I think a lot of it has to do with, with the social media stuff and with that side of it. People will overlook those things if it helps, if they think it helps their image. If they think that the majority of people look at this person as up here,
as like an authority or something.
As someone, and then they can attach themselves to that.
I see what you're saying.
Then they're willing to overlook, well, that guy, lied, cheated, and stole from my best friend.
Right.
But if I can attach myself to this individual for however long, and it bumps up my social credit score within this industry, then they're willing to do that.
That's why I said leech, man. They suck on, they hang
leeches.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Until the time is done.
I don't deal with that shit. I will.
Yeah.
I'm very black or white on that. If you're a good person, I'll do anything I can for you.
Sure.
If I don't like you, don't come up to me. Don't try to shake my hand on nothing, because I'm just gonna fucking look at you. Because I can't within my soul be seen associating with you.
Right.
Because again, I say shit like this publicly.
Right.
I can't not do that.
Right. Yeah. Is there someone you really look up to, like in the industry that's maybe been around longer than you, like a pioneer or somebody like that? That guy's an inspiration, or that guy really had an impact on me.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I mean, there's multiple individuals that I truly, like I trust. I like to ask questions to. I like, that are on, a higher level, that I feel are on a higher level. They'd probably tell you the exact opposite, that I'm on a higher level than them, whatever. But there are definitely people that I like to.
Like give me a couple examples.
Again, I like Bare Knuckle Paul. I've grown a good relationship with him over the last 5 or 6 years. We didn't really know each other. We knew who each other were, I think, prior to that, but not like didn't have a relationship. Like, he's someone that I know I can call and say, hey, I'm running into this issue, and I trust what he has to say.
Sure.
Bronny from Speed Merchant is one of those individuals. I deal a lot with Heath Pinner of Saddleman and of all of his own fame.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he's someone that's very creative, very the mindset is there. Like we connect on that.
Sure.
That level of creativity and design wise.
Right.
Our buddy Brian from TBJ Concepts, like him and I go back and forth a lot. I don't know, Scott Lurk from Baker is someone that I lean on. Mikey from Nine Finger. Like, there's a lot of individuals that are in that little core group that I will appreciate their stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, there's guys, pioneers leading up to this stuff.
Right. Like Arlen Ness, I would say.
Yeah. Arlen Ness for sure. Like, that's a lot. That's like, he's always kind of a given.
Yeah.
In a lot of this stuff. I appreciate a lot of the Indian Larry stuff. And the things that Paul Cox does. He's an insanely talented individual.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of just, I enjoy that. Like, someone who can do a ton of stuff, which blows my mind, because I'm a mechanical person, but I don't really care so much about the engine builds and things of that sort. Like, it's not my forte. Like, I don't want to bolt all this together.
Yeah.
I would rather, all right, this is your profession. This is your deal. Like, there's not, for me mentally, there's not a lot of creative challenge in it. I want to figure out how to make all the other stuff work.
Sure.
So like that, the paint side of it, I'm not into that. So, we let Andy at Flying Iron Designs handle that stuff, and he never disappoints. Sure. So yeah, I mean, one specific individual is a hard thing for me.
Sure.
Trevelyan from Superco was always one that I enjoyed, because he built a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. There's kind of a hard question.
Yeah,
to answer,
no, it's
I guess.
a lot.
Yeah.
Gaffy tells me about Paul Cox all the time. He's he's like, it's a guy a lot of people don't know about, but he's always telling me about how talented Paul Cox is.
Yeah, Paul is super talented. Like, style wise, him and I are very different.
Right.
But I truly enjoy the creativity that he has.
Sure.
Like, because he came from like a fashion design background in New York.
Yeah.
So when you see, like, he'll sketch things out, and it's that very fashion to where it's like broken down in multiple different stages on the same sheet of paper with all the, you know, technical drawings and things in with it, and you know, scribbles of dimensions and how he's going to do it, and then he'll hand make everything, machine everything, shape the sheet metal, and then he'll bodywork and paint it all, and then he'll do the leather seat and build the motor and everything else. Like, that is a amazing thing to me. You know, someone like Roger Goldhammer, who from start to finish can create every single piece of it. It's insane. Like, that stuff just blows my mind.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, I was on the phone last week with the Keanu Reeves team. What's the name of that?
Arch.
Guard. Yeah. Not with them, with the guys that work with them on maybe getting involved with them in some way.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on those bikes?
Super impressive.
Yeah.
So we got a tour a couple years ago. Guard gave Chris and I a tour. We were out there. I don't know what the hell we were out there for, but Hot Bike Jordan actually took us over there because prior to purchasing the magazine, that's what he was in between the magazine getting shut down and him purchasing Hot Bike. That's where he was at. He was there with Guard and Keanu doing the Arch stuff. So, and Guard comes from a custom fabricator, sheet metal shaper. Like, he's a very talented individual. And then you come into all this stuff, which is like crazy 3D machining, and you know, they have Ryan Boyd, who does a lot of their programming and CNC design and all that type of stuff, and the machines a lot of the parts. It's wild. Like, they walked us around, and we got to see just kind of the whole little area and how they do it, and then the newest one, which I can't remember what the hell they call that one, but the one that's like $300,000.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Like, style wise, not my thing at all.
Right.
But as a whole, like, individual pieces and a whole package, like, I can appreciate the shit out of it.
Sure.
And all the time and effort and money that has been put into creating those things.
Right.
It's out of control.
And they probably still don't make money, I would assume, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, at some
it's a
point,
hobby project.
At some point, maybe, but
I mean,
Well, the
maybe
the
Guard's
money.
making money. I don't know. I mean, he's got to be getting paid somehow, right?
Right.
And Keanu,
yeah.
Keanu's into it. Like, he's super into it.
Right.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
having fun. So, like,
Yeah.
I remember, you know, I heard through other people that know them both, you know, oh, Keanu's doing another movie. We must need more money.
Yeah, I mean,
He's doing John Wick 12.
that's right. Well, even the guys over at Buell, I mean, he was telling me, he's like, the money he told me he's into that, and they haven't even produced a bike yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's
My thought on that, I've had this conversation multiple times too, is when they bought, and you know, I may be completely off mark. My thought is probably when Bill acquired, I think he acquired EBR, I think.
Yeah.
So when he acquired that, and then I think he just had to wait for licensing stuff or whatever to run out with Harley to be able to run, purchase and run Buell. Well, when they bought EBR, the Hammerhead was already a production motorcycle.
Yeah.
So they bought an already legal, ready to go, you know, quote unquote, turnkey production motorcycle. And then they had the genius idea to create the Super Cruiser, which is a phenomenal motorcycle. But as you know, you can attest to, it's like starting a business. You can tell someone till you're blue in the face all the hurdles that they're going to have to, you know, jump, and all the shit they're going to have to go through, and all these things that are going to pop up that you could never fathom.
Right.
Like, your brain could not create some of the situations that come up that you get put in. You can tell them that till you're blue in the face, but until you are in the trenches, you don't have any idea. So my thought and speculation is that's what happened with the Super Cruiser.
Yeah.
And because of that, when people are like, oh, the damn thing's never going to come out, I'm like, well, I can guarantee you there's a lot of roadblocks that they've run into with the EPA and DOT and everything else, and designing parts and then going to get them approved and them saying, no, not even close. You're tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into something potentially between tooling and all the design time for them to go, nope, not going to work.
That's why I think Keanu's taken the approach he's taken, because he's fielding his own race teams now.
Yeah.
I think he's saying, okay, I'm going to fuel this beast by losing money. Everyone knows you lose money in racing.
Yes.
But I think the fact that he's got it out there, they're performing fairly well. Alex Chapman's one of his riders. He's podiumed a few times around the country. I think it's enough to give him a little bit of clout.
Yeah.
But to also get people to focus and notice it and talk about it enough that
Right.
Maybe when they hit the market after all of that time and investing, they will roll some quick units out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think on that side, I mean, I think their base models.
$100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not.
But they're all
125 grand.
They're kind of like they'll do it. It's kind of, even though they have these 3 different models, it's still bespoke in terms of like.
It is very bespoke.
So you still order it, and then they.
And you're part of the whole process. They have the design team there, the graphic design guys, which sketch it all out, and create a model of it, and you can say, hey, I want the seat like this, the tail section like this. I want this paint on it, whatever it is. But they also have guidelines. Like they're not going to make it look ridiculous because it still promotes their brand and it represents who they are. 100%.
So, but again, at $100,000, that's a good thing to be offering.
Correct.
To let a guy come in, to let a gal come in and say, "This is you're involved in this whole thing."
Well, with that kind of money, you almost have to. I mean, it's like building a custom bike.
Well, you say that, but look what Harley rolled out at that price point.
Yeah. Well, it was only 100 and something of those bikes.
Well,
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess at $300,000, you don't have to sell as many bikes either.
Yeah, but also you have to find enough people to buy a $300,000
bike. Very small market.
That's a very small market.
We just got talking about Harley wanting needing a $20,000 bike.
But affording it and wanting it are also 2 different things. You could afford it, but that's you're never going to probably see your money out of that either.
Right.
So
and the guy who can afford and wants that, he's not going to ride it.
No.
It's gonna when you walk. It's gonna be in the foyer of his mansion when you walk in.
Like, saying, "Look at my $300,000 bike." Yeah.
It's like the guys used to build all like the Boyd Coddington style hot rods and the roadsters and all that stuff.
Right.
Like they go in the garage when their buddies are over and they fire it up and they all stand around and drink beers.
Right.
You're not taking it out and doing anything with it.
And it leaks like a sieve when they get done because the seals are all bad.
Right. Yeah.
But it looks cool.
They've started it 3 times in the last year and a half.
Yeah. Hey there, everybody. I really want to share something very important and near and dear to me. It's called UM and UIM, uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage for your motorcycle. It's something you can't afford not to have. We are lawyers. We represent injured riders, but you need to still call your insurance broker and ask them about maximizing that coverage so that in the unlikely event you get in a motorcycle accident, we can get you the compensation you deserve. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Call today and maximize your insurance.
So we've talked about motorcycle riding. We've talked about touring. We've all got a tour we're going on coming up here, the Hot Bike Tour, which I know you've been on every single Hot Bike Tour, right?
Yeah, I think the only one I didn't fully make it to the 15 one. Started out, but I didn't make it all the way. So
hey, there's no shame in that game.
Care to elaborate?
Motorcycle problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, he's down for the gore. He's like hoping you got incarcerated, you got booked.
I already told him I'm going to throw a question at him, and anyway.
So I'm a junkie when it comes to watching what guys build. I've tried to build my own. I'm not a builder, but I like to dabble. So I'm always looking at what people are doing and what they're working on and seeing who's got these abilities, whatnot. And you made a post, and I don't remember when, probably back in May, of a bike that you said was the Hot Bike Tour bike. And I've got to hear the story because the post I saw was there was more dirt on the rack than there was motorcycle.
Yes.
And I want to hear the story because we're all going on this tour. I can't wait to see the bike, but also I want to know where the heck did you find a bike that's got all this mud and grime? I mean, that thing was disgusting.
Yeah. There was a shit ton of dirt in it. Our best guess is it was probably a flood bike at some point, maybe.
So what is it?
Sure.
What's
it's
original?
a 91 Softail Heritage.
Okay.
And we got it from our buddy Beef Spot in Southern California. I think he just moved to Texas or Tennessee or something actually, because everybody's evacuating. But we got it from him. He had it posted kind of up for a while, so we worked the deal with him. We got the bike, and that's what we started with. But knowing, and it was rough, but knowing that we were not going to really use anything other than the frame and the title, essentially, it didn't really matter. So. Once we got on the lift, but still had no idea that it was like visually from the outside, like it was a little rough, but for whatever reason, those Evo Softails have started to climb in price. So to find a good deal on one is becoming really, really difficult. So this is what a few years ago I would have thought was absolute highway robbery, but turns out these days it was a hell of a deal.
What's a hell of a deal, by the way?
They're anywhere from an absolute useless bucket of shit is still going for $2,500 up to $5,000-6,000 for one that's in decent shape, Wow. So it's kind of, and there's guys that got them listed for $7,000-8,000.
That's like FXR price. I mean,
it's
like almost FXR pricing, right?
It's pretty wild. So, and I don't know why that is.
Oh,
I bought one a handful of years ago that were recently built. I think I paid $1,200 for it.
And that's awesome.
It ran. So, but yeah, to now we're paying thousands of dollars for something to start with. So
now, did you see these pictures?
No. So it was just mud and shit? Or what was
it was, and it was just packed all in between the motor and the trans and in behind the primary.
I mean, that had to be, if it's like that, then you're right. Probably had to, like mud and that doesn't happen by happenstance.
It was a lot. I've never, first time we'd had that experience. So yeah, there was shit coming out of it.
Try to take a little of the dirt and somehow incorporate it into the.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the bike we started with. Then we pulled it all apart and had it all, stripped and blasted to have a good base to start with on the frame. And then we started building. So we got using an S&S 93-inch shovel, a Baker Powerbox 6-speed.
Nice.
Which was a full polish deal, but the motor is natural with polished rocker boxes and push rods and push rod tubes and tappets and nose cone.
Did you guys build that motor?
No, it's brand new S&S.
Oh, okay, brand new
93 inch.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we took the transmission apart and blasted and vapor honed the case so that way it matches because it just looked ridiculous. Super about the details.
Yeah.
To the point where I'll put every bolt in the lathe and spin them flat or add a detail to them or some kind of something.
Oh, wow.
On that side, I'll do it on the FXR side too. It doesn't matter. Like every wheel spacer for every bike that comes out of the shop, I make them all, I machine them all. Nice. They've got some sort of little detail in them, whatever it may be. All are custom, all are different. So I enjoy. I hate walking up on a bike and seeing 5 different types of hardware.
Yeah. Throughout
the front to back. Some factory stuff mixed in with some hex bolts, mixed in with maybe a chrome bolt here or a chrome cover here, and this shit drives me insane.
Nick's doing some cool custom bolts now.
Yeah, he's doing like all the titanium hardware and things.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
So, and it's between the two styles, right? Like I can't do 12-point or titanium stuff on a torch bike because it's supposed to be a 1940s to 50s, 60s era deal. Right. Yeah. So like this bike, all of the it's all stainless, it's a button head or like a countersunk Allen, and we're polishing all of it.
Nice.
Turning off any details on it, any of that type of stuff, lettering or any of that. So, we're just working through it. So Andy painted the frame. So with the timeline, we didn't get as much of an early of a start as we wanted to. So the bike's not. It's gonna be raw, which at this time when this comes out, everybody will have already seen it and know what we went with. So we're doing like a light polish on all the sheet metal. So it's got our production fenders on it, which are stamped in Michigan. They're stamped from 14 gauge steel, so they're heavy. Oh, nice. So we can polish it, and it's not like a thin, beat up piece of shit fender or a fiberglass fender or something like that. Like these are stamped steel. Yeah. So we're gonna do a light polish on those. We'll do a light polish on the gas tanks. And just the frame is like a mauve / cotton candy pink type of color. So the whole bike will be that color, but it'll have a little bit of black in it to kind of break it up a little bit once the sheet metal's all painted. But yeah, we reached a point and told Andy I at least need to get the frame painted so then I don't have to pull the whole back apart.
Right.
So, and then when we got the sheet metal done, I was like, hey, buddy. So, yeah, go fuck yourself. So,
so it's not a necessity, not choice.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes we can push a little bit, but also he was already stressing out. So,
sure.
So at this point, with the tour coming up, where are you in this bike?
The whole rolling chassis is pretty well done. It's, I'm sitting here, but it's still being worked on. So it's been 7 days a week. Today's Monday. I was there all day yesterday until about 10 o'clock last night. And every night's been 10, 11 o'clock from whatever time in the morning I can muster to get there.
We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come do this.
Yeah, because we usually don't timestamp this stuff, but in all reality, Hot Bike Tour rolls in 3 days.
Yeah, and technically
no pressure here.
2 days we got to be at Trask.
Yeah, you got to be at the party.
Yeah.
And then on the FXR division side, we have the Buell, which we've had a bunch of shit going on with the shop and like just crazy busy. And then, you know, my business partner, Chris, has been dealing with a broken leg and had to have multiple unexpected surgeries and whatever else. So that's really put us, it just changes things, right? Because normally he's in there. It's all assholes and elbows and all of us are in there doing the thing. Right. So, you know, we lost a guy on that whole side of it. And unfortunately, he unexpectedly 2 weeks ago had to have another surgery.
Oh, shit.
Because he had an infection. They had to pull all the shit they just did in May, had to pull all of it back out. Ugh. So he's not even going to make it on the tour now. He's got a fucking stint and having to do antibiotics and everything else. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate.
So you're one
snowballing.
Yeah, that's unforeseen stuff happens.
Yeah. So we're not going to get as far on the. We're not as far on the Buell as what we had planned and what we had said we were going to do. But we do have a full handmade sheet metal fairing for it that is specifically designed for the bike.
Nice.
So that's going to stay raw. We're going to, get the rear fender raw, so it makes a little bit more sense. But we do have, strut covers custom strut covers that we machine that we intend to be a product for it.
Nice.
Mid controls with mini boards. We did a full, pie cut exhaust with an SE Projects muffler on it, all stainless bars, stainless crash bar. So like we've done some stuff to it.
Yeah. That's on the Buell.
That's on the Buell. Yeah. Nice. The only thing that we're falling short on is we intended to have, we're designing bags for it. We intended to have the bags on it and we intended to have it all painted.
Got it.
But, we didn't strip the tank. We left the tank so that way it still says Buell on it, and we'll still be there representing everything that we can for Bill and the crew over there. So
when you're done, will you go back and finish?
Yeah. When we're done, we'll go back and finish it all. So, and you figure out that, all right, what this does is it gives more iterations,
right,
and more marketing material, and so you put a positive spin on it, and that's.
So talking about Bill, I've had my own experience with Bill. I met him in the parking lot that Lionel set up where we have our booth at the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum. They were set up next to us, and I've heard about him. I've heard about the bike. Obviously, super excited about the Buell Cruiser coming out. What's it called? The Super Cruiser? Super Cruiser. And in fact, I want to try to get one from him. He said he'd try to either give one away or get one, whatever. But yeah, I got him. Bill is a party animal, man. I was telling you earlier, great guy. I feel like I've known him forever, even though I just met him, and super affable guy. And he came to the hamster dinner with us, bought a car he shouldn't have bought, I think I told you. And then him and Tony May got drunk and partied at the Holiday Inn bar. So
amongst everyone else.
Yeah. So he can have some fun, and he's got some big balls in him putting the money he's putting into this project. But
I have only scratched the surface on financial conversations with him, but the numbers that I've heard is like just what each individual bike is. So like the bike that we got, we were trying to get a final production version, but it just wasn't going to happen. So they sent us one of the pre-production bikes. Yeah. And then we'll end up getting a production model once they come out. But I think Bill's actually going to keep this one that we're doing.
Is he?
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So they were gracious enough to send one to us and kind of make us one of the first official Buell aftermarket partners. And so once it launches, you'll be able to get parts like basically through them through us, both ways for your Super Cruiser. I
want to go one step further. If he gives me one, I want you guys to customize it for us. That'd be badass.
Yeah, love to.
I want to get like a Law Tiger version of it.
Yeah,
but that's not like every other one. So, Bill, I need a hookup.
Yeah.
So it's you guys. Who else is going on the tour?
So
we're going by Lionel and I are riding.
Yeah.
So
as far as like builder wise, it's Torch and FXR, which is one and the same with Chris and I, to the point where most people didn't even notice, but on the flyer where it has, we did an AI face swap.
Oh, really?
On the things. So yeah, everybody's like, "This not. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You guys don't look at yourselves at all," because we can't take anything serious. So,
right.
So we did an AI face swap. And we sent it to Jordan. He's like, "You really want me to run this shit?" I was like, "I don't give a fuck. Run it."
Why not?
It's like, yeah, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
So it caused a bit of confusion for sure. But yeah, so and then TBJ Concepts, which is Brian Shimke, Heath Pinter, which I think Heath is Saddleman, but Heath is also his own thing. Which, if you don't know the history, Heath, he's a former pro BMXer as well as a former pro snowboarder and a car builder and a motorcycle builder.
We'll have to get him on.
Welder.
I think he was on my list.
Yeah, welder, shaper, fabricator.
Yeah.
paints all his own shit. Like,
wow.
Heath is an insanely talented individual.
Get him on. Yeah.
And stories for days of all the years of touring the world with the Do Tour and all the different vans and all the different BMX stuff, and then all the snowboarding stuff and everything else. Like every trip we go on, there's some new shit
talk to him
about him partying with the Beastie Boys or some kind of kooky shit like that comes up.
I did BMX as a kid. You ever do that?
I never got into that. I was on horses.
I did BMX. There's big BMX scene here.
Yeah. I was big into the bicycle stuff for sure as well. So like I knew who he was throughout the years. Sure. So he's like another guy that he's only a couple years older than me, but now we've traveled the country multiple times and touring around on motorcycles and like I said, back and forth all the time. And
nice.
Yeah. So Heath is in it.
Motor Witch, he's in it.
Motor Witch is in it. So Danny's in it. So
Magic Mike's in it.
Magic Mike. Magic Mike did I don't know if he did another one, but he did the 2014 one with us, which was the first year that they had a build off.
Yeah.
I think so.
We used to sponsor, like when Jordan worked for Hot Bike and didn't, now that he owns it, we sponsored a few of the Hot Bike like end parties, but it's cool. It's like full circle now. And I give him a lot of credit getting into a magazine brand right now. That's tough, but we support him and want to see him succeed.
For sure. That's why we get along. He's equally as much of an idiot as the rest of us are. Just making terrible decisions in life, but sticking to them and seeing it through.
It's a passion,
Yeah. We're not in it because we're smart. Like I said, as intelligent as all of us may be, no one's ever accused us of being smart.
Well, if you can make a living at it, though, a decent living, and still have fun and support the industry, which is what it's all about, I think. To me, that's a win. He's not going to get rich owning Hot Bike magazine.
But wealth isn't just money. Like that's like we have that conversation in our shop all the time. Like none of my guys are getting rich.
Right.
But we do stuff like this. We get to build cool stuff. Like we if they need a day off, it's like, hey man, I got this come up. I need this day off. Okay.
Right.
I'll come in on, like it's not like, oh, well, you have to put in 2 weeks. No, you have to ask for vacation time. You have to do this. None of that exists. Like it's all, and we're all creatives. We all enjoy doing what we do.
Right.
So there's give and take, right? 100%. Like, so yeah. Am I buying a mansion in Paradise Valley? Not anytime soon. Maybe. I don't know. But that's also one of the things that has always kept me going is just the unknown. Like I say, like the years of traveling and like, laying the groundwork and making these relationships and all this stuff. I never know what the next time my phone ring, what that's going to bring. It may bring $100 million deal for something. Right. I don't know. Like, I mean, that's extremely excessive. Yes. But like, I have no idea. Like we've had phone calls before where it's like, hey man, cause we have a manufacturing company too, where we do just general fabrication and everything. Like we've had phone calls where like, hey, we need this. It's going to be a reoccurring thing. It's X amount of dollars. I'm like,
why not?
Well, that covers everybody. That keeps Chris and I from freaking out every week, figuring out how the hell are we going to pay these guys? Where are we going to pull money from to what do we got to, how much more shit do we got to sell this week to make sure that these guys are paid? Because if anybody's going to starve, I'm going to starve first.
Right.
Before those guys do.
When you own a business, that's how it is.
That's how it works.
But there are guys, I mean, Trask does very well financially. Yeah. Thrashin, why am I blanking on his name? Lance Jr.
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
Yeah, those guys are doing really well.
Those guys they do very well financially.
Yeah.
Because of the parts and because of the...
I think those guys have kind of become the, I guess, or at least a North Star within the industry for guys who are coming into it. Like they can look to that.
Right.
Because like, the numbers you hear that those guys are doing compared to what we're doing, I'm like, we do a lot of the same shit.
Yeah.
It's just the promotional side of it. I think they've figured out how to really capitalize on that marketing side and the branding 100%. Side as opposed to, but I think that has to do also with being younger and a younger generation as to where, like I say, when I started into it, you had to go to the shows, you had to make these relationships. So like, that's where my mentality is. My mentality is being seen, being,
pressing flesh.
Yeah. There you go. Shaking hands.
Yeah.
That is what I come from.
That only gets you so far.
But it only gets you so far.
Yeah. I mean, we did that for years.
Yeah.
Now we're doing this, social media, because if you want to scale and reach a bigger audience, like I was just telling Lionel about Mr. Beast, I just learned about this guy. He's like 31 years old with like almost 500 million followers. And
or he's a little late coming to that.
I'm a little late. I'm not a social media guy, But I don't have a choice.
Forced to be.
Yeah, you have to be.
You have to be. I've gotten better at it, but still, like Chris and I, neither one of us, and like the crew that we've curated over the years around ourselves, like none of us are braggadocious individuals. Like none of us want to stand up and be in front of it.
Yeah.
Like
you need one guy that
you need one guy. Like kudos to Ryan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Cruzy he's become that guy.
Right. Right.
And I've known Ryan for years now.
Right.
But he adapted to be that guy.
Right.
Like I don't want to do that.
Well, you have to have the personality also. He's like, it's just natural for him.
Correct.
You know, and so I think if you're not that guy, then you need someone that can be in there. You know, Nick's not that guy either. Let's be honest. No. He's not, but he's got his what's his videographer? Alex. And Alex puts him on camera and
Alex is phenomenal.
So you need.
I love that kid.
Yeah. So you need you got to be the guy or you got to get someone that can showcase you.
Yeah. We actually just made the move on the motorcycle brand side. So we have Mark Kirkland, who has done probably one of the best videographers out there right now, doing a lot of really cool projects and a lot of stuff. And his stuff it's gritty. It's like, it has a very raw, dirty feel to it, which is what I want.
Sure.
Which is what I feel that we are in comparison to, you know, like a Thrashin' or something like that. Like they're much more of a polished feel. They're much more, you know, everything's bright, everything's airy, everything's happy, you know, but and that works. It's great. And that they follow, I think that successful YouTube model.
Right.
I want it has to feel like us. Like we can't all of a sudden just start putting this stuff out there and everybody that knows us is like, what?
What
are these guys doing? I'm like, hey guys,
sell out.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. Like I can't do that.
Right.
And it has to feel like us. It has to be authentic. Yes, it has to be authentic. So through Zach at the shop, he's good buddies with Mark. And so we just started having a conversation. He's going to come along the first couple of days of the Hot Bike Tour with us. And we're going to start doing a couple of videos a month or like, you know, a couple of days of shooting a month with him. He's just in Tucson. So it's, you know, 2 hour ride. He's up here and he does more like chopper stuff.
Yeah.
So he's very successful in that. And just the feel is right. And he's a good dude. So yeah, we're starting our foyer into this whole deal, our journey into this whole deal. So yeah, but it's not going to. I don't know how well it's going to do because it is authentic. Yeah. It's not the trendy model that all of these guys are you know having success with.
Yeah,
in the way that they do the things. So
but you don't have to have like huge. I mean, huge like views and huge. I mean, you can still get business and be recognized with your audience, even if it only gets a few thousand views. I mean, so of the few thousand, you know, 10, 20 people order parts and then here, I mean, it adds up.
Exactly.
Right? For us, I used to get hung up on, we need more followers. And it's like, to me, it's not about followers anymore. It's about
substance.
Engagement.
Yeah.
It's wanting to, you know, and yes, you're right. Substance, engagement.
Yes.
Not who has the most followers.
Right. Like you see some of these guys that have 200,000 followers and they got 15 comments on their shit and 200 likes. It's like, well, you don't have any engagement or those are all bullshit followers.
Right.
Like it has to, like you're not going to get, you have 200,000 followers, you're not going to get 100,000 people interacting. No.
Right.
But if you have a few thousand, you know, engagements, 10,000 engagements, 20,000 engagements out of your 10%, like that's
right.
You should expect that.
Right.
Yeah. I like the fact that you're going to be authentic to you because even though you say it's not what they're doing, what they did and what they're doing was a gamble for them as well.
Correct.
It may have been their personality. Correct. But it was an unproven tactic online that has worked for them. So you can say you're doing your own thing, but I commend you for that because your own thing might be the next thing that really tips the scales.
Yeah, well, and I'd say too, we're you know, in a lot of stuff that Mark does and the way that we see it too, like, you know, we all grew up in the you know, Motorcycle Mania days and the early days of the biker build off stuff and all of that. Like that's more what I want. Cause also like we, in comparison to nothing against like some of these other guys that are doing this, they're not making everything. They're not
right. They're not. Yeah,
it's a difference. It's different. So like I say, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, you know, I've had this conversation with multiple people. It's just a different direction, right? Mm-hmm. They're way better at marketing and promoting and sales than we are, but they're also not building, hand making all this stuff and building all this stuff. Like we fall more on that side of it. So if we can, we have a different approach. We have our own niche. If we can, capitalize on that and start to showcase that and do it in more of a grittier, raw, what I feel the motorcycle industry is, because it's become this huge beast of marketing and all this other things. But at the core, that's not really what it is. It's not supposed to be this polished Harley corporate, everybody towing the line to not piss people off on either side of the aisle or whatever the hell you're trying to do. Like, the whole point of what we're into and where we come from is being against the norm and fucking irritating people and pissing them off with your loud motorcycle. And you got your, that's why the guys that freak out the squares, they would have SS bolts and Swazis on their stuff. Like it didn't necessarily have to do with an ideology, because you might have a Jewish Hell's Angel from New York with SS bolts on his bike or whatever. Like, it was just the freak out the squares type of thing. Like it was just to irritate people and like push buttons and be outside of the norm.
Yeah. Like the wild one. I mean, it's
correct. Yeah. Now it's all merged, and because it's merged, it's become financially, exponentially beneficial for all of us involved in it.
Sure.
And I'm fine with that. I appreciate that. I don't necessarily fall directly on either side of it, but I think there has to be a good merger, and that's what we're trying to create with what we're going to do with our YouTube stuff and what we're going to do. So find that balance of the middle where, yes, we're marketing, but it still feels authentic.
Sure.
So
you guys do, but you do stuff on Instagram already, right? I mean,
we do stuff on Instagram. We're not great at it.
Yeah.
I've been clipping together we bought a GoPro and I filmed shit and just the little editing apps and whatever, and I clip it together, and it looks okay. Yeah. It looks probably fine to the average individual, but you get a video guy who's like, oh, hey, this overlaps and you did this and you should have made this transition instead, and maybe you moved different. I'm not a professional.
Well, that's not your job, right?
Correct. Yeah. Well, it has to be your job.
Yeah.
Or you have to hire somebody.
Well, that's right. Yeah. It's one or the other.
Because it's a full-time job.
100%.
It's a full-time job.
But if you're trying to build bikes, you can't design parts. You can't also be directing all of your social media content.
That's it. With this stuff, we've been posting way more than we have in the last handful of years. And people are like, oh man, we love seeing you guys post this stuff. This is great. I'm in the moment. I'm thinking about it. I'm doing it.
Right.
Also, it becomes a challenge too, because you get jaded in the things that you do day to day, regardless of what it is, it becomes mundane. And it becomes like a thing that like the average person walks into the shop that's not in here every day and they're like, mind blown, like, this is insane. You guys do this all day, every day. I'm like, well, yeah, we're just cutting and welding shit. Like, your mindset changes. So then I have to remind myself, okay, because to me, I'm like, who wants to see me cut this piece of plate and drill a hole in it? Well, turns out there's shit tons of people out there that want to see that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So like, you just have to retrain your brain. And again, I don't really necessarily like being on camera and doing that type of stuff. So but here we are.
You got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Someone actually said to me, they were surprised you were coming on. They're like, when I mentioned your name, they're like, oh, he's not, that's not his deal. Yeah. Like, good for you. Because he came willing. It's not like I had to put a gun to his head or anything.
Yeah.
So
well, Jordan texted me.
Technically, he's sitting here with a...
Technically, I have a Gatling gun in the room. So.
That's true.
Yeah. Jordan texted me and asked if I'd be interested in it. And that's fine.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, again, we have a lot of mutual individuals. Of course. So it's not like I'm
and that goes back to, doing things, obviously, we're not bike build. He is. I'm not a bike builder. We're a legal brand, lifestyle brand, whatever you call it, represent injured riders at the end of the day, even though we try to do a lot with lifestyle and whatnot. But I think, trying to help with the community and being there for other busineses, and that's what we want to do, and that's why we do this, like we talked about.
Yeah. And I've grown a much larger appreciation for that over the last 5 or 6 years probably of I say giving back, but like when people have events and like, hey, can you give us some t-shirts or whatever, like we get asked that kind of stuff all the time. But if it's someone that I know, or coming and doing things like this, or going like, we weren't part of the FXR tour last year, but we were part of it the first year, and I want to go and support.
Right.
We weren't part of Born Free Texas, but we're always at California. Those guys always take care of us. So we made the journey. We, took 10 days off and for the very first one. This is since the beginning of that one. We've been to the last 3, so this will be the first one that I don't make it to.
Actually,
yeah, I'm not going to make it just because of this whole deal. You got to pick your battles.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
yeah, we're going to Japan this year for Moon Eyes.
Oh, nice.
I was just in Europe a couple weeks ago for my wife's birthday. I hadn't been in a number of years, so we started playing a couple years ago and squirreling money away to make that happen. But so yeah, it's just there's a lot of things going on. And multiple shows that we're going to go to between now and the time we leave. So
yeah,
it can't.
It's funny you mentioned squirreling money away, because that's one thing that I've noticed is people assume, even with some of the guys that are like well-known, well-established brands, that they're not. Of course, we talked about the exceptions, like I said, but most of the guys that are bike builders, even producing parts, are not like multi-millionaires. No. They're they make a living and a decent living, but that's the millionaires is the exception, not the norm.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I just don't. People, they see these commercialized brands and they just assume that, but they don't know the story behind the individual.
No, because I mean, a lot of it comes down to the size of your brand, overhead. Like people look at us and they think that we're, especially on the FXR division side, they think that we're much larger than we are.
Right.
Because it's Chris and I, we have one mechanic, and then we have, my brother basically runs like the all the production stuff in the shop and everything, which we have a separate manufacturing company that technically all those guys work for.
Sure.
And then they build stuff for both of the motorcycle brands. But that was just ultimately a way for us to then capitalize on doing stuff outside of the motorcycle industry and trying to diversify, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, so like that all that stuff, there's a lot of overhead that comes with that.
Yep.
A lot of overhead that comes with that. Paying for a building these days is
right.
Insane. Just doing that, and then giving people a livable wage at this point is tough. And then when you have to pay all the taxes and pay into unemployment and all this other stuff that you have to pay into, it turns a $25 an hour employee into a $32, $33 an hour employee, So fuck all that shit. Let me just give my guy $33 an hour. Like I would much rather that. And I'm sure they would much rather that too, but
it's not how it works.
We don't have that choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it. And, and I tell people too, they're like, oh, you got this, you got that. I'm like, well, the business's money and my money, not the same.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the same.
Right.
Like Chris and I take a salary, and if the business is doing great and there's a little money to be had, all right, maybe we'll take a little something out. But it's such a roller coaster too that it's always scary to take. Like, all right, we want the account to stay at this amount, and if it gets above that, I'm like, okay, yeah, could we take money? Yeah, but they would just bring us back down to where we are quote unquote
the bottom comfort level,
the bottom of our comfort level, right? So like, okay, let's just leave that in there, and so it's such a roller coaster,
sure,
because it's where me personally, like I make enough to survive, but I'm not like all the things that I have are because it was all right. We need to buy a bike for a marketing side on the from the business. So because we have these new products coming out, okay, well, my turn in the barrel. I get a new bike this time, woo!
Right?
Yeah. Or we, Chris and I each get one to promote with or whatever else. But like the things that I have like that, they were bought as marketing things, bought as promotional things. It wasn't like just me going out.
Right.
Like I like old shit, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, my daily driver is a 92 Dodge Ram Charger. Like I know,
sure,
nice.
And I'm wrenching on it, working on it to keep it moving.
Sure.
But same with Chris. Like none of us have new fancy trucks. Like we're not driving around in that stuff. But again, that goes back to me. Like I don't need that.
Right.
If the point that time comes, it's because like we need write-offs and we need to spend more money.
That's a good problem.
So I give more. Yeah. I look forward to those problems.
Yeah.
And in the early days of business too, everybody like, why don't you just buy a truck? Well, I can't afford a truck. Well, it's a write-off. Yeah, but you have to make enough fucking money to have to need like.
It's just like write it off. Don't worry about
just
it.
write it off. Like that doesn't work. Like you have to be able to pay for it to then be able to write it off. Like if I don't make enough money to pay for this vehicle or whatever, like people just think like you sign a business license and they just put $1 million in your bank account. It don't work like that.
No. Plus you got R&D expenses, and not every product you develop sells, and so you have waste product that's sitting there that make it. I mean, there's so much travel expenses and taxes. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, going out and doing all this stuff. Like again, like we're doing this hot bike tour. Like we're building these two bikes. but it's not like we were fortunate enough to a few months ago to get a customer come in on the torch build. So that's been super helpful. And Buell was gracious enough to give us the Super Cruiser to start with, but still we're putting all this money in. It's like the stuff with Harley. People's like, oh, that's Harley gave you a motorcycle. Well, yeah, they gave us a $20,000 motorcycle, and then we proceeded to put another 50 into it,
right?
Like, to hope that those parts sell,
to hope that it turns into something,
and hope that Harley keeps the line alive.
Correct. Yeah, because they're like, oh, you got $50,000. Well, yeah, because everything on this thing is one off.
Right.
It's not like we just. We went to Thrashing or Cruzy or
crack open the big book.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. We didn't, or got some parts from Tony, whatever it is. Like, there's nothing available. So everything that we're doing, we're creating this product. So, like, yeah, okay, we have a set of mid controls. Well, that set of mid controls costs $8,000
because of labor,
because of tooling and design work, and then you might make 4 prototypes that don't work,
right?
Because it looks great in the computer, and then when you go to everything, all the measurements line up, and then you put it on there, you're like, this isn't right. It needs to move here. So, you got these prototypes that are useless, but you machine soft jaws or design whatever it is to hold it in the machine to make all these parts.
Right.
Throw that shit away. Start over because it no longer works with these changes that you had to make.
Right.
So it's like, those are the things that people like in talking to Bill,
yeah.
like the one that we had, like he's like $150,000 into this prototype that we have.
Right.
And that's one of numerous that they have. And this one's a mixture of a few different ones. Right. So it's like, yeah, okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
It happens fast. So yeah. And then you go to sell the bike and it's not worth anywhere near what you have into it.
100%.
So, but those are the things that, like, because we invest so much back into ourselves, there's not always a lot to be had at the end.
Sure.
But again, it's our choice.
Do you guys go through distributors to sell your parts, or direct, or both?
No, we've had discussions with distributors, and it hasn't happened.
Sure.
I can't say that it's because they don't want them. It's because we just haven't figured out how to make it
work financially.
How to make it work. Yeah, it's difficult because, like, we don't CNC machine our own parts.
Right.
So, and billet parts are the easiest, fastest way to do that type of stuff.
Right.
So you have one employee that stands in front of a machine.
Yep.
With Haas and all these other machines these days, like, you can get a machine for, I mean, you can, for under $100,000, you can be machining your own parts with purchase of the machine, with all the tooling, with everything that you need to be able to do it, programs, all the stuff. So you can step into that and be off and running for under $100,000. And I mean, what's your monthly payment on $100,000? Not that much.
Right.
So in the grand scheme of things, right?
Sure.
So, and if you can't immediately put somebody in there and be running your parts, you shouldn't have bought the machine anyway.
Right.
So, but like, and we've been looking at it, but it's a down the line thing for us right now. We just bought a CNC tubing bender that landed a little over a year ago.
Nice.
That's been kind of our main focus on getting a lot of that stuff going. So
for handlebars or for
we do all of our products on it, and then also just on the manufacturing side to be able to do, like, we have some guys within the motorcycle industry that we do stuff for, and then we have just completely non-motorcycle related stuff. So the hope and the plan and the idea is to get that to a stage where motorcycle shit is just fun again. And
not just a business.
It's not just a business. Like, yeah, we still want it to make money. We still want it to do well, but it's not like, oh man, all right, we got to make payroll. We got to do this. We got to do that. Like, all that stuff's handled, and it's like, okay, well, we have this money in the bank. It's like, what do we want to do? Do we want to build another bike? Do we want to create these products that we've been talking about for a number of years that it wasn't viable? Now it makes sense because we can, or do we just want to stay on coast? Make that decision when we get there, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's the idea with that side of things. But yeah, to your point, yeah. None of us are rich. Very few of us. Sure. My brother likes to make the joke that I'm the brokest millionaire he knows. Because he said, asset wise, you're absolutely a millionaire, but you're borrowing money from me to go buy lunch.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
So we talked about this Gatling gun, and you were telling me earlier, I was asking your gun guy, and you said, unfortunately, you can't own a gun. Do you care to elaborate on that a little bit?
It's just stupid decisions as in and out of shit. Like, I never was like a super bad individual by any means. But I like to, in a younger version of myself, I was a much angrier individual and like to get in scuffles and whatever else. These days, I want absolutely nothing to do with any of that. I just want to like, yeah, man, high fives and hugs and
So you're a fighter.
move about my way. Yeah. I mean, I can't say it was a good one, but I was, yeah, it was a different mindset.
Were you angry or what was the issue?
Yeah. For whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah. And just like to fight.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight anymore. But yeah. So I just got in a scuffle that escalated and got out of hand, and I got aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge and became a felon as a result of it. And so, yeah.
Hey, I was telling you, we all, I've had reckless, I've had reckless driving before.
Yeah.
Got out of it, thank God. But we all make mistakes, you know, and it's how you come out of it and change your life for the better, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and you live within the realm that we live in. You're going to, multiple runs with cops, overnights, things like that, like paper arrests, that type of shit. Like I've had numerous of those.
What's a paper arrest? Oh, where do they just give you?
Where they give you on paper. They arrest you on paper,
and
then you have to go to court, and they're like, it's not a big enough a thing to.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like you were technically arrested.
You save the cop for somebody else.
Yeah. Basically, they're like, we don't want to deal with your bullshit. Here's a piece of paper. You're arrested. Go to court on this day, or whatever. So yeah, that type of stuff, like numerous different run-ins, all that type of shit. But never spent enough time to really say that I have been imprisoned by any means.
That's good.
So I've somehow man,
skated through, man.
There's lots of instances in my life where I actually could have and probably should have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, fortunately that my one run in was, I was young enough. I was with my now wife at that time, and the amount of time that they were telling me that I was, mandatory minimums and all that type of stuff. The amount of time they were telling me that I was going to do because of this situation, which, as most things are, blown out of proportion.
Right.
It was, if anything, both of us should have been in the same amount of shit.
Right.
But, I was like, all right, doing, rough numbers. I'm like, yeah.
You don't want that.
I don't want that. Yeah. So unfortunately it worked out for me. I came out on the winning end of that whole situation, and was able to, all right.
Good for you, man.
Kind of get my shit together. But that was, early 20s. So.
Sure.
Was that the eye-opening moment?
It was, yeah, for sure. Because up to that point, you're running with cops and all the people around me just doing really dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in Tucson, so we're not far from the border. So there's a lot of shit that you can get involved in.
Nogales. Yeah.
Douglas, Nogales, all that. There's a lot of shit that you can get involved in. And within 90s and early 2000s, everything was all about either weed, coke, or you had pills coming into it at that point. Yeah. So everybody you knew was doing this, doing that, getting into shit, whatever. So it didn't matter what level of individual you were, whether you were poor or rich, like it didn't matter. Like everybody knew somebody that was involved in all that shit. So numerous people that I know, arrested, killed, whatever. Yeah. So it was a different time.
Yeah.
But I'm not a kid now, so maybe it's exactly the same time. I don't fucking know.
No. I mean, I went to Chaparral High School. It was one of the biggest coke busts ever. Yeah. There was a guy kids going to school there dealing coke. It was a TV show. It was all over the news. I mean, that was the 90s. It's just 90s. I'm a little older than you, but, it was just what it was. I mean, I wasn't into drugs in high school, but I had friends that were, and it was just,
same. I wasn't into it either, but I was. You're always around it.
Yeah, but But I'll tell you what. In my 20s, I was on my Harleys drinking all the time and hanging out with my buddy Rick Hatch at Hacienda Harley and going to bike nights and drinking more than we should. And there's a million times I should have been in trouble. Knock on wood. When you're in your 20s, you make stupid decisions. You don't think about the consequences.
No, because it's not really any. You don't have a real concept of the things that are going on around you and what life is and what, like there's no gauge.
And if everyone else is doing it, it just seems normal.
Correct.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what it was. It was just a normal thing to get drunk, tear it up, no helmets. Now we all wear helmets, but just things were different. Yeah,
the no helmet thing never really struck with me because I grew up on dirt bikes, so it was always a helmet. So I always felt weird when I did it. If I was on a bike and I didn't have a helmet on. So I mean, I've done it certainly, but
sure.
Every time I'm like, I don't know, get a fucking helmet. much more comfortable with
But
that.
you, Lon, do you have any war stories?
Oh man, we got in plenty
You're
of trouble.
an angel. You don't seem like a lawbreaker.
We were out in the middle of nowhere getting in trouble. I mean, it was different. I mean, you didn't have cops show up. It was more of farmers chasing you and everything else. But
Yeah, I have a few of those because I grew up on the outskirts of Tucson, so we would have big desert parties and shit like that, and then go break into. One of the times I was, BMX stuff. One of the times I was paper arrested was for trespassing because we got on a farm and like built a ramp and they had like the pond, and then we were jumping our bikes off the ramp into the pond, and they were not so happy about it.
We did shit like that.
Well, really,
we did too.
We were just kids. Like we weren't breaking nothing. We weren't doing nothing trouble. We were just.
They should have been proud of you for building the ramp. We did the same thing.
Well,
we just do it off cliffs into the lake. We didn't build a ramp.
We carried that motherfucker like 300 yards too to get from the edge of the fence where we were able to park over to where the pond was.
Yeah.
And the only reason we got busted was because there just happened to be one of the workers come by in a gator.
Oh,
because it's pre side by side any of that type of stuff. So it just come by in a gator, and then like he kind of looked and we just waved and we kept going, and the next thing here comes the owner with the cops. Like, fuck.
My trouble was more like busting down gates at a private development where they had dirt to get our ATCs in there, just finding dirt. I grew up in North Scottsdale on the street from here, but there was undeveloped dirt lots still, whether they were gated or open. And so I'd take my 250R on Shea Boulevard or on just to find dirt, and the cops would just go home, kid, or tear it up on the golf course. That was my fun back then, is jumping into sand traps and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I want to get you in a little more trouble.
A little
these days.
bit, yeah. I got a free golf lesson out of it, but never took up golf. So, yeah. So if you were doing something different, if this wasn't like your career path, what do you think you'd be doing?
I don't think there's anything else for me.
Nothing.
I don't think so.
It's well said. I mean, that's a guy that's sitting here comfortable where he's at and knows it. And
I don't like, I've thought about this before. Like, I don't like, even like I've had offers over the years from people that we know that own, big fabrication shops and do really well. And
sure,
have offered me money that I still don't make today.
Right.
And I said, no, because again, like I said earlier, just, it's the unknown. I think, like I said, that keeps me going. It's that excitement and that fire that for whatever reason it fuels in me that I have no idea what tomorrow holds. The next 10 minutes, let alone tomorrow. Yeah. So that, like for me, it's just that constant, like, I didn't want to say it's a constant fear, but just that teetering between success and absolute failure.
Sure.
And never knowing what it's going to bring, where we're going to be. So if I had a normal job, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I really don't think I could do it. And, in the jobs that I've been offered are doing essentially the same thing that I'm doing, right? Just not necessarily motorcycles, but fabrication and designing stuff or whatever.
It's also not doing it for yourself.
It's not doing it for myself.
Somebody else.
Right? I didn't do well when I had bosses. I don't like being told what to do. I'm not a punctual person. So if you need me to be, if I'm supposed to be there at 8, I'm probably coming in at 8:05. Also, mostly because, again, you told me that I got to be here at 8. I'm probably not going to do that. It's just something within me that just doesn't.
Be a rebel?
Yeah, and like in little ways like that, like, right? Like I don't want to be, I joke now that the most outlaw thing that I do is run around with expired tags, but like, don't take that from me because I got to have something, right? Like it's at least I got something.
Yeah.
Like until 2 days ago when one of the guys at the shop needed to ride my bike home, needed to borrow the bike. My tags were expired. And I was like, fuck, let me go.
He get popped?
No, he didn't. I was like, let me go update the registration for you. Plus I'm not riding it on the hot bike tour. Another buddy of ours is flying in and I'm gonna let him ride it. So I should probably get, like, it has insurance, but the registration just lapses. Let's keep going. Whatever.
It'd be nice if, like, you can go online easily now and do it.
Yeah, I did it. It was like 11 o'clock at night. He was leaving the shop. I was like, hold on.
It'd be nice if you could do I think you can do a couple of years at a time, but I
also, have you registered a new bike lately?
Yeah. In terms of like the cost, you mean?
Yeah.
It depends on the bike, the value of the bike.
Yeah. Well. I mean, mine's a 21. It's a Road Glide. It's all the shit's done to it. It's decent.
Yeah.
Fucking $300 for a year.
Oh, is it that much?
Yeah. Yeah. There was like, oh, you can do 5 years for $980. Like,
2 years, you don't save anything. I know that. It makes no sense for 2 years. It's the same price. Yeah.
I don't hope to own the bike in 5 years, but.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just do it a year at a time.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I've had a few, because I have so many bikes, some I register, some I don't. If I'm not riding them much, I just won't register them.
Yeah.
But then certain ones I forget, I have to get them done. And so now I have reminders. But it's a pain in the ass to keep up. What about like advice to someone trying to get into this business? What would you tell them to do it? Stay away from it? What would you tell them?
I absolutely do it. Why not? If it's what you truly think that you want to do and what you're passionate about. So, and you can't, there are success stories of guys that come in and within 2-3 years, they're making it, they're doing it. My advice would be start out slow, do it in your garage, figure it out there because you have no overhead or your overhead is
manageable.
Oh yeah. Your overhead is just your house payment. Right. Or your truck payment or whatever that is. Like it's manageable. But when you jump into having a building, it adds a whole nother level of stress. So I'd say, unless you're already doing something that you're like, okay, this shit's already making money, then jump into a building. But I'd say prolong that portion of it as much as possible. Sure. Like some of these guys get caught up in the visual of it.
Owning a building.
To where I got to get into a building. I got to have a storefront. I got to have all this shit.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because all that, like with our storefront, like we have a storefront. It's very rare that anybody comes to the shop to buy stuff. Like we maybe get one person a week that comes to the shop to buy stuff. It's all e-commerce. It's all online.
Right.
Yeah. So you can do it. You can easily do it from your house. And, some of the places like you can't set up a drag account without having a corporate address. Like there's certain things like that. But if you're just trying to build your own product and you're trying to sell it, you can absolutely do it from your house. You can do it from anywhere.
Right.
As long as you can get, if you're making the stuff, as long as you can get materials and UPS will come to you, or you're within a reasonable distance of a UPS store or whatever,
drop it off.
You can do it.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice. And then again, like I like to say, one of my common things to say is we're too stupid to quit. There's been 1,000 off ramps and 1,000 roadblocks that I maybe should have backed up and taken the off ramp, but we're just too stupid to quit.
You're still here.
Yeah.
And I can't relate to it. You've done the bike build, so I have no idea of the issues and the challenges. And
the funny thing for me is, and I can only say is I've done 3 bikes and I'm still learning how to do it. I'm not fabricating. I mean, I fabricated with some guys, but I don't have the tools to know how to fabricate on my own. There's times where I look at those bikes that are done and I'm like, I honestly enjoyed building it more than I do riding it.
Yes.
Like I sound like an idiot.
It's the journey. Well, you talk about that on the ride, camping. Yeah. Sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. I truly enjoy, but it's a love-hate too with the build. Like
he can speak of that. He had the bike that
deadlines. But for whatever reason, we continue for the last 15 years to agree to these build offs and all this stuff and whatever. And it never fails. There's always a point where I'm like, there's no fucking way we're going to make this happen. And we always do. It always works out. And but in that time, like there's numerous late nights that I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why do I do this to myself? Like, how stupid do you have to be to continue to sign up for this?
Just learning how to build bikes and put them together, and starting my own little journey with it. It's like I jump on a bike and I go through my head like this internal checklist. Like, okay, I was putting blue tape on everything that needed to be finalized. Yeah. Did I finish? Is that axle bolt torqued to 150 or not? What did I torque it? Did I torque it or did I just finger tight that sucker? That would
be the entire hot bike tour. I'm going to be looking down, waiting for something to break off, waiting for the forks to stick in the ground and me go flying it just. And I know that every single piece of it is perfect, but also like this bike, the torch bike we made, it's a whole handmade girder front end that we did for it.
Cool.
I've never made a girder before.
I've seen the pictures you posted.
I've made numerous springers. I know, and even the springers, like I'm always sketched out that the threads are going to strip out and the top note's going to shoot me in the forehead and it's going to kill me on impact. Like, the stupid things that you think about when you're driving down the street and the springs are going up and down, So like I've never made a girder. Like collectively in the shop, like we all came together. I drew it in CAD. Like I everything works. Like the rake in the trail is proper.
The numbers are there.
What's it going to do in the real world? On paper, it's perfect. But that doesn't,
I'll make sure to stay a little bit farther from you when we're riding together on the tour, at least initially.
Yeah, initially, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. It's always super nerve-wracking to go out and prove. Like the modern bikes, they don't bother me because it's just you're bolting on production parts. You're doing all this stuff. Like, I know that Olin's is going to work great.
Yeah.
I know that the alloy art parts that I got are going to fit great. I know that Danny's going to build the motor and it's going to be dialed. I know my Baker transmission is going to be perfect. I know, all of these things like are going to be perfect. Like, like on my bike, I've got wheels and stuff from Tony. But I know that all my brakes are going to work. I know it because we've done it.
Yeah.
I have all of these parts in a different configuration on 50 motorcycles that are out running around that have come out of our building. So it's still, you're looking around and stuff, you're learning the bike, whatever, but it's nothing like riding a handmade bike where it's all on you if this shit's going to work or not.
That's true.
So it's like, and then you're just constant because we're always our own worst critic. You're constantly second guessing everything that you've done.
Yeah.
So,
well, I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Both of them, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
He says, me too. You heard him. Me too.
What are you riding, by the way?
He's going to ride his Road Glide.
I'm torn.
We had this conversation.
I can ride the road glide. I felt so bad because of what the true heart and soul of a hot bike tour is.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same.
And I've got two choppers that there's one I would never bring just because it's my kickstart, shovel head, rigid frame.
You're not ever going to make it? You're not sure if you're going to make it or what?
No, the bike would make it just fine. I don't know physically if I would make it.
Yeah.
And then I've got my 88, which is, still a soft tail frame, but it's, Springer front end. It's choppered out. And I'm like, well, I could take that one, but then I've got no bags. I'm also rolling alone to get there because I'm not starting the tour. I'm catching on towards the latter part.
In Utah.
So then you said, guys that are taking road glides, and I'm like, oh, the road glide would be great because I'm just going to jam through I-15. If I could just hit cruise control and just let her rip, then
I got to talk to Jordan, see if they're going to have someone like a chase vehicle, then I'll take one of the FXRs. But if there's not,
he's taking his van, but I don't know. Like he offered to take pop-ups and stuff.
That's true.
You got a great bag that works as a backpack.
Yeah.
Stuff it and pack it.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to.
And then if there is a bag, if there is, throw it in. If there's not, you're good.
Well, plus we're riding with the 2-lane guys. They're one of our partners.
Okay.
So we're riding with them on Sunday. We're doing some filming, riding, and so that's the other thing. So we got to be prepared for that as well. But
because you're not going to have the tour. Everyone from the tour will be gone.
Right. So we'll see.
I'm excited to see what this one's going to be because the last one was a mess, mostly just because the magazine was on its way out anyway.
Right.
And then the previous editor got fired, as he should have. And then they just stuck Jordan in the editor position of the Hot Bike Tour,
right?
Like a month or so before, the editor, and a month before the tour, he got put in that position.
Yeah, I remember.
And everybody knew it was a fucking sinking ship,
right?
And he didn't want to be there, and he was dealing with all the aftermath of the previous editor.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be there. Like him and I had multiple conversations. He's like, I don't.
Yeah.
This is a shit situation. I don't want anything mentally, emotionally, like just to be a part of any of this shit. Right. So, so that one it worked, and then it downpoured the first day. So that whole event got screwed up. And then from there it was just like, yeah, whatever, we're going that direction.
Sure.
We're stopping here. So, but previous to that, all the ones that we did were good. Killer. Yeah. Yeah. But there was a lot more money being poured into those ones.
Yeah.
So, but I think this one, but those didn't have the soul. I think that this one
you have all the guys, like everyone's posting about it.
Correct.
You have social media.
Yeah. And it's a different deal too. Like you'd say the 2-lane life guys are coming, and you're filming on that.
Yeah.
We've got Mark Kirkland coming with us. Trask has Alex going with him. Jordan has his own videography guy coming. We have John Zamora, who is coming to handle all the social media stuff, which John was on board with Hot Bike through like the heyday. He was the assistant editor, which some would argue he was actually the editor because he was there present and handling all the shit, him and Rob. Sure. So there's a good crew of people, but also there's a shit ton more like media coverage and things that are going to be happening just independently on this whole deal, because in the years past, prior to this, that wasn't a common thing. None of us were going around like you couldn't even post videos on Instagram when the last one happened.
Sure.
You know, so that was how we promoted, was just a picture and the guys and like,
Right.
So yeah, so there was no stories, there was no reels, there was no any of that type of stuff. So now, and the content creation stuff hadn't become anywhere what it is now.
Correct.
So I mean, you think about from 2018 wasn't even that long ago, but from 2018 to 2025, there is an insanely different world.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's
you know, in all aspects, but especially in the media marketing side of things. So
yeah,
you know, he's nervous about how many people are going to show up. I think mostly just because people haven't registered, but
a lot of the nature of the game. No one registers.
Yeah. And I told him too, like it's a hard thing to do because, you know, obviously he wants people to register because there's money involved in the registration and he's running a business and somebody has to pay for all this shit.
Of course.
So I get it, but you can't force anybody to do it because they can just show up. It's in a parking lot. You're going to ride down the street.
Right.
Like it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had people hitting me up and I was like, yeah, here's why he wants you to register.
Yeah.
Well, did you register? Only because he gave me a code because I'm a builder.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't believe you registered. It's like, only because you gave me a code.
I don't even know if we've registered, to be honest with you. He asked for certificate of insurance because we're sponsoring the slow rides.
Okay.
At each of the stops with what's the crew that does that? I forgot the group that does the slow rides.
I can't remember.
LFG thing. So we're doing that. We're paying for that to help out. Because again, I think what he's doing is a good thing, and even if 50 or 100 people go on the ride,
I think there's going to be a good amount more than that.
Even if there is, I mean, whether it is or isn't, to me, it's just about going on the ride, and it'll be, you know, and he'll reach a lot of people through social media too, and then it'll grow organically.
Oh,
and
this is a seed.
It's kind of a restart year. Yeah. So
I think he's going to be. I truly think he's going to be pleasantly surprised at how many people actually show up and how well it does.
I hope so. Even if they go on a section of the ride, they don't have to do the whole thing.
I mean, there's
portion of it,
with our building, there's 25 people.
Perfect.
So awesome. Between all the employees and you know, all the guys that we have coming in from California and whatever else that are, you know, starting to show up today. So
yeah, I think if anyone wants to be around industry people, this is like the ride to be on, right? I mean, it's going to be all people in the industry, and then so I think that's a selling point. I think it'd be great.
And it being on the West Coast, you know, there's some people that feel alienated by that.
Sure,
it's all on the West Coast. It's all West Coast builders. It's whatever, but it's an easy start,
right?
To try to kick something back off a long ways from your home. Like Jordan is now, he was in Long Beach. Now he's based in Utah,
right?
Yeah, in southern Utah. So for him to already be trying to shoestring this thing together and having absolutely no idea how it's going to turn out.
Sure.
Like all the best intentions and everybody promising you they're going to be there. But again, as we discussed earlier, that doesn't mean they're actually going to show up.
Getting people to come from go a couple states.
Right.
So the expense, like I have friends that come for us on a bike week from the East Coast, and like it's expensive, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And to go to somewhere in like the Midwest, and not even to be ballsy enough to venture or crazy enough to venture to the East Coast to try to put it together, at least in this portion of the country, he knows enough people. Like you can start. Phoenix is a smart place to start.
Yeah.
Because if we say no and Trask says no and Tony says no, then you can talk to Yaffe, or you know what I mean? Like you can move down the line. Yeah. You can start with your number one priorities and then move your way down, because there's plenty of people. You're not like, okay, well, that person in that city said no. Now I got to go a state over to find somebody else that may be willing to do this.
And then try to build a route after that.
And try to build a route off of that. And then also, like, you want, you know, people that can host an event. Again, there's a lot of us in this industry. There's not a lot of people that have enough space to host something like this.
Yeah.
Like that is a much smaller pool.
Right.
So and then he lives in Utah. So he's a couple hours down, and then he works his way back up. And through the people in Phoenix, now we know everybody in Arizona to tie you in with whoever, or Vegas or whatever. Like there's just the network is so strong here that it, for a first off one to prove it and see how it's going to do. Yeah. There's really no other place for him to do it.
I agree. 100%. Yeah. 100%. So let's talk just to wrap things up. Let's talk a little bit about the industry. So where do you think this industry is going? Obviously, there's a lot of talk about electric bikes, and that's kind of slow rolling. You're talking about, you know, people aging out, you know, the Harley demo aging out. Harley's obviously struggling right now, right, with bike sales, because high interest rates and just age and expensive bikes, where do you see this whole industry and this whole motorcycle thing going in the next, call it 10, 20 years?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that that Harley stays on brand and stays to tradition, and at least keeps one or two models that are, are they going to be able to be air cooled? Probably not. They're probably going to have to take everything to water cooled not by any choice of their own, just because they're being forced to.
Yeah.
Through all the government entities. I would like to think that there would remain some sort of pushrod air cooled motor, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think on their side of it, the RevMax platform is going to become the primary one. That there's going to be touring bikes, there's going to be big bikes, small bikes, whatever, all built around that RevMax. And it was specifically designed, when you get into it, to be very modular and to be able to do a bunch of different stuff with it. So I think very strongly that the bike that we built, which was the kind of performance touring bike out of the Pan Am, is something that's going to become a production model within the next few years.
Sure.
So, and obviously they've started focusing over the last handful of years on the Asian market.
Yep.
Because that is a massive market, which is all smaller CC bikes.
Yep.
I think the electric stuff, if it comes back around, because I think it's on the downslope. Not even just in the motorcycle stuff, in the automotive stuff or whatever else. Like I think or it's at least plateaued, right? Like maybe it will kick up again, but I think like kind of the hype of it and like the vast understanding of what the ramifications of all of that stuff are in comparison to crude oil and whatever. I don't think that's really, personally, I don't think it's ever really going to take hold. There may be this is the stepping stone, and then it becomes it because you have to.
What's next?
What's the break a few eggs to make an omelet type of thing, right? Like you have to have, quote unquote failures to lead to your successes.
Right.
Like you have to do these things, but if you don't have these failures, well, they're not really failures because it leads to it takes you down the path to whatever the next thing ends up being.
Right.
So they have to do these things in order to figure out where it's going to go. I don't even think.
What do you think it is? You think it's hydrogen? You think it's something else?
I would think probably something hydrogen. Now, how that plays into the motorcycle stuff, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of that has to do with different administrations and all of that thing. Like it's so like that side of it is so volatile and so can steer this deal numerous directions. So it's certain people get in power. Well, the electric stuff may be forced to become more of a thing.
Right.
If other people, then maybe we can keep a push-rod air-cooled motor.
Right.
It is so subjective to powers things that we have absolutely no control over.
Yeah.
That I think that's a huge part of Harley's issue too. Is how do you project when you have no idea what the future holds?
Right.
No idea.
That's
and
true.
none of us do. So I think that's a really, really difficult thing to answer. I like seeing, as far as like the aftermarket side of it, I really enjoy, because you talk about, Ness and Perowitz and, Perry Sands and those type of guys who really were at the forefront of a lot of this stuff and creating a lot of these brands that were small guys like us.
Right.
That then, as the industry and started to grow, they got bought out, became corporations. And then you have like the Mag Group, who owned 30 different brands or whatever it was. And you have these big corporate giants that we can't compete with.
Right.
That, it's like, okay, so all of us were just on cruise for a number of years, because there's no way that we're ever going to be able to financially and compete with these places that have board members and have, stockholders that they have to
appease.
Yeah, appease and whatever else. And they have like legitimate, super smart business people involved. Like we're a bunch of, we were struggling to do this. Like, I don't know shit about business. I had nothing about business. I never went to college. I didn't do any of that stuff. Like I knew how to make things with my hands, and I have fumbled through all of this stuff, the business side of things, to try to figure out how to make something out of it.
Right.
So guys like us try to compete with these colossals was a really difficult thing. So I've enjoyed seeing those companies crumble.
Yeah.
And,
Mag
you know,
Group's
things
really-
like the Mag
yeah,
Group,
yeah,
like
that's
these big, gigantic robots just fall to pieces on the ground.
Right.
And companies like Thrashin come to power. And guys like
companies like yours that have stayed the test of time.
And now we're trying to come up too. Like those big companies, they don't exist. Like when you look at the landscape, it's smaller guys doing exhaust companies. You know, nobody's running Vance and Hines. Nobody's running Vance and Hines. But you know, people
Remember
doing
back in the day when Samson was it.
Samson was it. Yeah. You have smaller guys doing it. Right.
Yeah, you got D&D, you got Rusty, you got Trask.
Yeah, you got Trask. You got all these different guys.
Yeah.
Like I just heard about a company, I can't remember the name of it, that's in Casa Grande that's doing exhaust. Never heard of it before. They're like, oh yeah, they're pretty big. I'm like, okay, never heard of it.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy seeing that type of stuff and seeing the true you know, that side of what I consider the true side of the industry.
Yep.
Coming into its own and coming back around and being the ones that are becoming millionaires.
Sure.
You know, because it's becoming more likely for guys like us to become millionaires and to be doing well at this. So, I mean, look at Trask. Trask's been for 25 years.
Right. And his success, I know him well. He and I are buddies. His success did not happen. I mean, his real success has been the past 3, 4, 5 years, but his building burned down. His old building, he was almost out of business. I mean,
I think that turned out to be a blessing in disguise for him.
Yeah.
That turned out to be a point, you know, to Paul at Bare Knuckle.
Yeah.
He was a chopper guy and stood the test of time of all that, and then was like, fuck this. I can't do this shit anymore. I'm going to start machining.
Right.
And he opened up a machine shop and bought a building and did all that. And then he had all CNC machines in there, you know, used equipment, older stuff, and in there taught himself how to program all the stuff, taught himself how to do everything, hired the right people. You know, as they say, smart businessmen hire smarter people.
Right. True.
So he did all that. He's in Missouri. A tornado came through and wiped the whole fucking place out.
Yep.
Turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to him. At the time, he probably wanted to drive off a fucking cliff.
Right.
You know? But it turned out to be, he got enough money to then go buy another building to then it was big enough he was able to sublease part of that out to then focus on his brand and grow what is, you know, which is Bare Knuckle Performance now.
Yep.
And get all that side of it to the point where he's still in it because he loves it.
Right.
But it's not the only thing that he's stressing over. It's not the only thing doing it. So like, you know, same thing with Trask. That ended up being those moments where you're like, this is it. Like I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
They can sometimes end up being the greatest thing that happened to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm that's my excitement for the future and for where we're at now is to see how much it's already I guess what you call the private sector of this industry, how much it's already grown over the last couple of years.
Sure.
To see how much it goes to. Because I got a rough idea of what Nick's doing. I got a rough idea of what Thrashin's doing.
Yeah.
Like if that's feasible for some of us.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm
go get your
piece. Even if you do half of what they're doing,
correct.
You're still doing very well.
Correct. Yeah. You're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
You're doing better than 10 years ago 100%. Any of us ever would imagine.
Right.
Ever would imagine.
Right.
Like exponentially better than we ever would have thought was even possible.
Yeah.
Because we're competing with, at that point, it was like, all right, well, I build this shit up till large enough till our mag absorbs it.
Right.
Or someone like that.
Yeah. You know, I don't think that's happening anymore.
It's not happening at all.
Just, the private equity is not in it. You don't have the private equity. It's just, I don't think that model. I mean, even we talk about Rumble On buying Ride Now, and that deal fell apart. You know, now it's gone back to the original owner.
Yeah.
Sometimes certain industries just they're not meant to be commoditized or scaled and boardroomed, like you said. You know, what makes it great is that it is small, it is private, it is intimate. It's not, all just about business.
Yes.
And that's what I like about it.
The worst thing for us is like real deal businessmen being involved in this shit.
Yeah.
That's going to put me out.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Asking what's your ROIs and all this shit. I'm like, where's your balance sheet?
P&L.
Yeah, with the P&Ls and all this other stuff. I'm like, what does any of that mean?
Yeah. Very cool. Anything else?
Dude, I've feasted on all this info from you, man. Your stories and your experience, and it's awesome.
Yeah. There's a bit of it. We could go on for hours and hours.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
I look forward to the day when you do hit that peak that you're talking about, because I think you're there. I think you're just, you're climbing, you're getting away, you're chewing away at it.
Yeah.
There's going to come a time we're going to sit back and chuckle the time we sat here for a short period of time, and And you hit that threshold. You hit those markers you guys are striving for with these brands.
And that's not to take, I can't take anything away from where we're at now.
100%. Yeah.
Again, like I got to remind myself to step back and take a look, because, it wasn't that long ago that there was regular red notices on my kitchen table for shit that was going to get shut off. And I had to figure out how to keep the gas on or the power on or whatever, so the kids didn't freeze at night, Right. And the wife and I scrambling to put shit together to make some sort of meal or whatever. Like, that wasn't that long ago.
How many kids do you have, by the way?
I have 3.
Good for you. How old?
My oldest my son is 13. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 8-year-old son.
Is your 13-year-old interested in anything?
Yeah, he's all about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So.
Yeah, you got to smell the roses. I mean, you can't just always be looking at the next best thing. Somebody's got to step back and be like, what I've done is, we talk about that all the time. We want to grow, but you also have to appreciate where you're at and what you've done thus far.
Yeah, you can't just always be head down focused on what I don't have or where I'm not at.
100%. 100%.
That's the wrong attitude.
Yeah. Well said. Well, I don't know if we can do any better than that.
Nope. You did it.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Like I said, I'm sorry we hadn't met and spoken earlier.
Well, if you haven't been to the shop in the last 10 years, you probably haven't run into me. So
yeah, well, I'm definitely going to come down there and check it out. And if you don't mind, love to see the shop and meet your team and spend a little more time.
Well, I'd say legit, we got raw and real with you, man.
Yeah,
you shared some stories with us. And
I know
some insight and pleasure having you.
Yeah, great having you, and look forward to going on the ride with you. By the way,
sure.
and
it's going to be a great
spend some time on the ride, and just you and everyone else having a great time. So we will see you next week on that ride. Yeah, on the tour.
Don't even say next week. You say next week,
this
you're going to be all excited.
Oh my God.
Excited thinking I got more time.
No, it's like 3 days.
Like, shit, if it's not till next week, I'm going to go home and take a nap.
No shit.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it again, and thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Our pleasure.